Hello, everyone. Welcome back for another episode presented by Trickery and Chaos.
Well, it's time to return to the land of really loud ninjas.
God, that
I'm your,
hurts so much.
I'm your host, Am, and, well, Dragon co-host Soul along with us for this fun.
Ugh.
Soul is a giant, massive fanboy of ninjas, such a weeb for them. He
Yes,
sent me
yes,
a
yes, I
book
am.
about the history of ninjas because he's a dork, and I appreciate that gift. What I don't appreciate is the gift of this show, which, okay, I will admit it,
Hello.
I started when these are after Bleach and after Dragon Ball, there became the big three anime mangas that followed up: Bleach, Naruto, One Piece. When these three first started airing in the West, I will admit I started off as a fan of Naruto. One Piece is okay, and Bleach didn't catch my attention. As I have aged, well, we never continued the glorious 4 kids dub of One Piece, which is the only way I can watch that show. Bleach
Mhm.
has aged like fine wine and just keeps getting better, in my opinion.
I can agree with that.
And Naruto started off, oh, hey, this is pretty cool action. People kind of dumb. That's all right. Huh. It feels like everyone just keeps getting paid chips.
Naruto,
Lead-based paid chips.
in my opinion, Naruto's one of those shows that just kind of has peaks and valleys in it, and it's just it can't seem to level out enough to be a steady thing.
No.
But yeah, as I was saying, it never really seemed to kind of level off.
Yeah. I describe Naruto as a well of fantastic ideas, but we keep having to get saddled with someone who is not fantastic to watch. Yeah, we're gonna outright say this like we did in our old episode ages ago. The biggest problem with Naruto, the series, is the character Naruto.
Naruto. Now, don't get me wrong. At the start, before we get into all the other craziness,
Mm,
this was fine. He was a solid character. He was what he was supposed to be.
I would argue he was dumber than he should have been, but
Well,
that's for personal interpretation.
well, here's the other thing, and I know it sounds weird. He's 12.
I know.
I know he's. I'm not saying he has to be like Shikamaru, the rocket scientist, pretty much, or
Oh,
strategist
no, no, no,
genius.
no. I'm not saying he
But
should have been smart, but he comes across as, well, he feels like at times an isekai protagonist, only he didn't die and come to this world. He was born here, so he should know the fundamentals
well,
of this
see,
world.
that's the whole. This is where it really starts off. Is the conflict? Is the conflict with Naruto eh, growing up essentially?
Yeah.
Because we essentially get at the start that he is an outcast of the village.
Mhm.
And that's a solid point to start off with. Okay, so
I
you made
don't
him.
argue that. Like, he's a pariah.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. Now, we'll find out why he's a pariah, which makes even less sense, but
It does and it doesn't in a sense.
yeah.
But
Essentially, my biggest problem with Naruto is he keeps being surprised by what apparently is fundamental basic ninja stuff. Like, okay, the poor boy is orphaned, he lives alone, he has no one to take care of him. So, yeah, I do understand his education would be fairly low, but he comes across as the only thing he cares about is ninja stuff. He's hyper focused on it. And yet he also comes across as someone who never heard of a ninja in his entire life at times. This is one of my problems with the series is it kind of, like you mentioned, has peaks and valleys, where Naruto's intelligence doesn't come across as Goku level of savant. Like, Goku is an idiot in a lot of situations.
mhm.
When it comes to his one fascination, Goku loves it. He knows everything about fighting. He quickly studies it. He's interested in it. He has a drive for it. Naruto has that same situation, only he just never gets to the point of being good until the plot demands
I
his
mean, a good
being good.
example of a good Naruto being intelligent is when he learned Rasengan.
Yes, he figured out a powerful technique, and he used his own unique way of basically generating the energy for it. Because he
Mhm.
lacked control, he decided, well, Naruto has one technique he masters. It's the Shadow Clone Jutsu. It's the Kage no Jutsu. That's so
Hmm.
famous the show is for, where he makes a bunch of copies of himself that are physically there, and he has them hover around his hand while he creates this powerful technique, which requires focus. So if he can't focus on his own, two or three of them can help him.
Hmm.
Pretty clever. I like that. But then later on, he finds out that this technique he's been using for years at that point, he learns what the clones learn. How did he not notice that?
Well, here's the problem. I don't think that was originally planned
It probably wasn't,
because
but
that came out in the later half of the show.
yeah, but because of that, it ends up opening plot holes,
Yeah.
and that's the thing. I people often accuse Taito Kube, the creator of Bleach, of last minute assholes. Maybe, but at least his last minute assholes aren't huge giant plot holes.
But as I was saying, here's the real problem with Naruto. Later on, you learn that he was not such an outcast with his own classmates. He apparently was like semi friends with Shikamaru and Choji. And snuck
Yeah,
out of school
because
with them, and it's like,
he was the class clown. So yeah, sometimes the class clown is the pariah, and sometimes they end up having a lifelong friend because he makes the class clown. Thinking back to my own years of school, yeah, the class clown was pretty popular at times. Not always the most popular guy in class, but well liked by people who got the sense of humor. People who were like, yeah, screw the system. It's kind of funny when you do that. So it makes sense he'd have friends. But also, his entire life, he said he was alone until he became a ninja.
that's the problem. They
It's an
literally, it,
he wanted the creator. I can't remember his name of the creator of the series now. Okay, what's his name? He ate his cake with making Naruto depressed and lonely, but then he wanted to have Naruto to have a childhood, so he had his cake again. No, like
I
I
mean,
don't want the kid to suffer. Like obviously, making the core kid abused for the sake of a plot is
yeah.
kind of sad. So I like him having friends, but you made that such a core integral part of Naruto's beginning.
Hmm.
So
There are
what
some
happened?
things that I do like that they brought up later, like Shikamaru asking his dad, "Hey, why is Naruto so hated?"
Yeah,
Because there are going to be some people that don't know the story are going to be like, "What is with like the kid has done?" Yeah, he's an absolute clown,
he's
but
an idiot, but even at his worst, when he's just pranking people because wants attention, none of his pranks are like malicious or just like he vandalizes. That's his pranks,
yeah, I think the worst he's done was vandalize the face of the Hokage.
which is goddamn impressive.
I was surprised no one noticed it sooner, but that's just me.
That's what I mean. Like in a village full of ninjas, how did no one notice a kid spray painting a mustache on a guy's giant Mount Rushmore style head?
But like I said, like that's the worst thing he's done.
Yeah, maybe take a joke a little bit too far, but no one's been hurt by the poor kid.
That we
And
can say we know of.
like if that was brought up, then yeah. But to open up his backstory, his parents were super important to the village, and upon their death, he became the host of a giant doomsday monster.
Hmm.
His parents sacrificed themselves to ensure that this doomsday monster did not roam around the village, and the only place they could put it was in their baby. Like literally, he was just born a few hours ago. So he is a savior at birth, and the village hates him.
Now, from my understanding, the village thinks he's part of the disaster that kind of ransacked their village.
Yeah, because when his parents were fighting to save the day and keep the monster at bay, it did get loose. It did do some damage to the village, and then
Hmm.
it instantly just poofed away.
Yeah. So
So I guess the village theory is because his mom was pregnant with Naruto, but also was the previous host of this doomsday monster, birthing him released the monster. Okay, that's still not the kid's fault.
now, so we can show it later, he does grow up in the second half.
Mhm.
The second half really isn't that bad for him character wise either. He gets a
Mm,
little more serious, but he doesn't change as a person, which I like.
n- no, I have problems with the second half because again, retcons happened.
Yeah.
But that's again not his fault. But he is a bit smarter in the second half, from what I
Mm-hmm.
remember. But not like genius, more along the lines of I'm starting to get the hang of this whole out loud ninja stuff. Because honestly, calling them ninjas is just
It
no.
gets really bad in Boruto, but that's an argument for later.
Yeah, elephant in the room. Yeah, he wears bright orange and he never does stealth at like dawn or dusk.
There are the
When
few
or
moments that stuff is actually done, it's actually pretty clever, but it's so far and rare in between that it's like,
yeah, like the first real example I can think of stealth is when everyone is using secret tricks to cheat on a test. And some of these ninja techniques to cheat are, oh wow, that's genius. And other ones are like, who threw the throwing knives into the ceiling to hang mirrors from, and how does no one notice the glare
that would
from the
be
mirror?
1010 because he was operating with strings.
Yes,
And
but still,
I'm sorry, I still think besides probably um
just looking to your left.
yeah. But here's the thing, I honestly think Shino had the best cheating there.
Yeah, I think the two best cheating in that is Shino's bugs just seeing things, and Gara making a sand eye that floats around. Like you wouldn't know whose eye that is at first.
What's remember? No, remember he crushes it and the sand goes all over the place. It gets in people's eyes.
Yeah,
So, so that's ingenious.
it
Now I'm
is.
sorry, but Neji had one of the worst ones because, oh, he's a Hyuga. Oh, look, pulsing veins. He's using his abilities.
Yeah, he is Hanada. Like you wouldn't know who they're cheating of, so that's some of it. But is the eye veins a thing for us, the viewer, or is that an actual thing in the show? I
No,
forget.
no, that's an actual thing in the show because people see that.
I think one of the worst ones also is we haven't talked about yet. We will Sasuke's because he can copy people's motions, but what happens if that person's holding their paper at an odd angle, or you're copying someone who isn't
Well,
doesn't
at
have
the
right
very
answers?
least, just his eyes change color, and that could be a little harder to see.
Yeah.
Rather than the bulging veins.
Then again, I think there's one other student who has the best cheating method in that entire exam.
Shikamaru just being smart.
Actually, no, it's Sakura. She's the only one who already knows the answer to that by default. Shikamaru has to get Ino to cheat for him.
I get the feeling Shikamaru was just having the answers checked for him.
Probably, but no, it's implied that only Sakura was nerdy enough to read all these textbooks that have nothing to do with this, like being a ninja,
Fair enough.
which is a character trait they kind of forgot about her. That's the thing about Naruto as well, is a lot of early character traits were established, forgotten.
Well, in the second half, it feels like unless you were part of the main force, which even Sakura is part of, they still forgot parts of her.
Yes.
You only had like one major scene, and then see ya.
Yeah. The thing about the early season of Naruto before it did the major time skip to Shippuden was a lot of the characters were very much along the lines of I'm going to defy destiny. Like in this great world of ninjas, only people of certain birthrights or certain blood types or whatever
Mm.
will make it. So through hard work, grit, and determination, I'm going to make it on my own. And then Shippuden comes along and basically says, no, no, a dramatic big fight about fuck the system. You are the system. You're the chosen one. I don't
Yeah,
I don't hate chosen one stories. I don't even hate surprise chosen one stories. I hate anti-chosen one stories that are actually chosen one stories all along.
because here's the thing. I'll split out. Naruto's father was the fourth Hokage, known as,
Hokage is the leader of their ninja village,
which quite literally
so
translates to Fire Shadow.
which is a pretty cool name.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna lie.
no, but first of all, your father was one of the most feared ninjas in the lands.
Yeah.
Your mother was from a special clan able to restrain these demons. Because there's
Mhm.
9 of them. Technically 10, but we'll get into that a minute later on.
Yeah.
So already you got 2 special. Like I know that I know that shouldn't make him special, but it
In
does.
this world of magic genetics, yeah.
Especially on his mother's side.
Yeah.
Because his dad just had a really cool summon technique that allowed him to teleport all over the place.
His dad was an example of from nothing to amazing.
Pretty much. And he also had Jiraiya as a teacher.
Who we'll get into in a minute, but he's another example of from nothing to amazing. Essentially, all these people who were from nothing and became amazing died to make Naruto better.
Mm-hmm.
Which death in Naruto feels very strange to me.
I think the best time with Naruto is when he was actually training with Jiraiya.
Yeah.
Parts of it with Kakashi, I won't argue that.
Yeah.
But
honestly, as we said in our very first episode, the world setting is fairly good in the first 2/3 of Naruto.
I'll give it probably like 3/5.
Yeah, I can give you that. But whenever we are forced to follow Naruto, he just gets powers. Like, people accuse other shonen protagonists, Goku, Ichigo, uh, Deku, of just getting powers. And I'm not saying Naruto doesn't struggle. I don't say Naruto doesn't strain, but to me, it really feels like okay, you put in the minimum effort, kid. Here you go. Sometimes Naruto does a better job of showing training than other shonen shows, but it also does a worse job of building up to these powers, and they don't stay relevant very long.
You know what my problem with the Naruto series is? It's kind of my same problem with Mega Man X series to Zero. It has a great build up, great world building at the start, but at the end, it just didn't matter. Because everything Naruto set out to do to try and change the ninja world, yeah, he didn't really do much.
No. Now, if that had been the point, I could see it, but it never painted that picture. But that's another thing I find is sometimes Naruto has an idea and doesn't know how to execute it, so it just kind of...
And because I don't know when we're going to get to the next episode of Naruto, it may be a while, I'm going to say it now. Naruto is a worse father than Goku, and I'm willing to put up hands with anybody that argues otherwise.
Yeah, I'm willing to back him up. We'll do it as a tag team.
Because this man, when this guy grows, even right now, has the ability to make like almost like hundreds of clones of himself.
Yeah, at least 100. He can be Legion anytime he wants. And like we already established, these clones, when they are defeated, which doesn't take too much effort, but they can still fight.
And they can kind of just destroy themselves at will.
So when they poof, the original knows everything they just experienced. So,
but this idiot,
at any point after he makes it to become Hokage, which got so many issues with that, he decides to be Hokage first, dad never. He doesn't want to send a clone to spend time with his kids. He doesn't want to have a clone stay in the office. He doesn't want to okay, let's wrap the day up early. I want to spend the weekend playing baseball with the kids.
Now, here's the thing. A few days when there's like an important diplomat visiting, I can understand him having to be there. Fine.
State of emergency. Yeah. A special village event coming up. I can see that. But no, he sends a clone to his little girl's birthday and it ends up being a disaster because of it.
Not only that, when he takes in a dangerous person into his house, that's when he decides to come home and spend time with that person rather than his own son.
Yeah, there's a complex for you. There's a complex for you. Like, oh yeah, he had no father, so how is he going to be yet? No, he can just ask his friends who are parents.
Like, I don't expect him to be an all-inspiring father, but
he can ask his wife, or his wife can tell him, the kids are depressed right now. Maybe you should spend time with them.
Well, here's the thing:
you listen to your partner with that kind of stuff.
I don't expect him to be a great father because he never really had one. But he has an example from Jiraiya and somewhat Kakashi to at least be a teacher and a sensei to people.
I can argue that not having a dad doesn't make you a bad dad. My dad grew up in an orphanage. And because of that, because of what happened to him, he decided to put a lot of focus on being a dad because he knows what it felt like to be alone.
Well, I understand. I'm just simply
So,
saying, like, I
so,
don't even.
so either Naruto is a complete utter idiot, or
Mhm.
he's so selfish and self-concerned, only his goals matter, that he's basically faking people's attention. Like he's
Unfortunately, I think
only
it's
set.
both.
It's a little bit of both. It's either both or neither. Either one, the author's either really good at making a jackass or not very good at making a likable main character, in our opinion. Yes, I do know a lot of people do like Naruto. I
There
can
are things
understand
to like
why,
about him. I don't argue that.
and if you do follow the supposed logic of his terrible life, you can feel empathy for him. But when you
Hmm.
stop and think, yeah, this makes no sense for mob mentality, even for mob mentality.
Yep. But
And he's not even the one who suffered the worst childhood in his precious village.
oh god, we'll get to him in a minute.
Yes.
But the main problem with Naruto is that when he's smart and it works out. Because
Yeah.
it's not like it doesn't feel like an ass pull 100% coming from Naruto.
No, I will give him that. Like, I might joke about it, but honestly, a few of his ideas, I'm like, shit, that makes a lot of sense.
Like
Good
prime
job.
example was when his first major fight with Zabuza, when he had transformed himself into a shuriken and got past to order full Zabuza and free Kakashi. Yeah, he wasn't going to win that fight no matter what, but he freed the person that was.
He was able to realize, okay, we're in way over our head. Our teacher is the only one who can stand up to this assassin.
Mm-hmm.
Better get him free.
Yeah.
Kudos.
Yeah.
I got no argument with it. I do like his creation of his own technique, the wind Rasengan.
Which was so devastating he couldn't use it too many times because that thing damages you down to the cells, including
Yeah,
him.
it was basically the nuclear option. I like that, but then there are examples of things I don't like, which is how he learned the Wind Ridge Shuriken was to basically just have a bunch of clones die a lot and learn from them. Why weren't you doing that before? And he kind of doesn't do it that often in the future. When honestly, this is the equivalent of Superman and the Flash's speed reading superpower.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, sure, Flash and Superman sometimes don't retain what they read for very long when they speed read, but both characters in DC are known for, oh shit, I know nothing how to take power of a nuclear bomb. Hang on, I'm gonna go to every library in the world right quick. I've read everything about nuclear bombs. I can disarm this. I have disarmed this. I'm starting to lose the memory of how to do it, but worst come to worst, I decided to photocopy every one of those books.
But here's the other thing. How do I put this? It feels a little like I like how he made friends with his inner demon, the Nine Tails.
Yeah. Naruto is known for the joke of talk no jutsu, where he's able to
Mm-hmm.
converse with someone and share his sadness with their sadness, and they can become friends. Which, if it has that is the idea of why Naruto had to suffer, I like that. It makes sense to take your own pain and try and understand someone else's misery
Mm-hmm.
and befriend them through that. It's just he only ever really does it against threats against certain threats. He doesn't do it against people who are already his allies. Like honestly, he should be doing using that misery he went through to bond with his kids,
But
to rebond with his friends,
mhm.
like keep in contact with, hey, Gara, fellow child who was holding a doomsday beast. We should have more talks to each other with going over our
Mhm.
terrible pain and childhoods.
But
I
here's the
mean,
other thing. The part that feels like an ass pull to me, and it's kind of the same ass pull for Bleach a little bit with Ichigo.
mm,
The demon and the hollow kind of come out to save his ass a little too conveniently at times.
yes,
Like I
I
understand that's main character plot armor. I won't argue that.
yeah, the inner dark power trope is fairly common. I feel Bleach did it slightly better because the build up and the
Mhm.
foreshadowing done with
Well,
the
the
evil
main
power
difference I feel
makes
is like Ichigo. If Naruto dies, Kurama goes with him.
yeah.
So there's a self interest here for the demons. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
The problem here then is the demon really is, while still caged up, when he gets his release, only feels like he really tries to take control at certain points. How about
Yeah,
Ichigo really tries to feel like every time he comes out, yeah, he's trying to take over.
and yet in actuality, Hollow Ichigo really doesn't have any honest desire to be in church. He just said those things because he knew, oh, that's going to motivate Ichigo, and he hints at that.
Yeah, but at the
So
same
he
time,
goes,
the guy that actually say, "Hey, listen,
yeah,
I'm just here to make sure you don't get your ass kicked,"
yeah,
versus a demon that's enraged, trapped inside of a little kid.
yeah, no. See, if we had, like, if as a kid that demon was always whispering to him, then I could understand the village's worrying about him. Like, if he was just, rather than harmless pranks of painting shit, he was poisoning food, like food, making sure people eat spoiled food or some other thing that could get them seriously hurt or killed. Yeah, I mean, we both love horror
Mm.
stories. Imagine if the Nine-Tailed Fox in Naruto made Naruto act like Reagan from The Exorcist.
Because the only reason that a lot of this doesn't happen is because of a different way that the Nine Tails was sealed inside of Naruto, which really
Yeah.
gets convoluted later on, mind you.
Yes, yes, it does.
Which is
And
another
the de-
problem that it goes on.
and
The farther down the road you go, the more convoluted everything becomes.
yeah, like the demon rarely whispers, "Hey, let me out just a little bit, and you got power, kid." No,
Meanwhile,
it's more.
Garak is constantly hearing his, and he can't even sleep because of it.
Yeah, and Garos is apparently much weaker and with a much weaker seal. I know Garos is a much stronger seal, from what I understand, because it was had time to be prepped on him. Naruto's is only so strong because of his mom's special blood.
Well, that and it was basically. I think Naruto. Actually, I think Naruto's was strongest. It was a deal with the Reaper. It was the same
Oh,
one
right, right,
that
right. I
the third
forgot
used
about that.
on Orochimaru to get
All
his
right,
arms.
all right. So I retract that. I retract that. Hey, I'm not going to say I remember everything about the show
No,
because
the only reason I remember that is because I remember it was the same seal that the third used on Orochimaru.
hmm. Anyway, I'm just going to say this. I could not keep up with this series. It hit a stupid plot point after a stupid plot point and then pulled one major ass pull, and I was just done. My emotions were done. I could not care anymore.
Honestly, I think it really started to hit retcon hell was with Shippuden.
Yeah. There's a point in Shippuden where one of my favorite characters die. The village gets destroyed. Another character I really died, and then Naruto wins the fight with Talk no Jutsu, and the guy decides to just undo everyone he just killed, except for the first person who just died on that list, who was also his beloved mentor. I was just like, the Dragon Balls do not feel this ass pulley at times.
Yeah.
So like it was not established that this guy could just undo everyone he killed because he kills them. And I don't mean like Mystic killed them. No, he just like wound kill you.
Yeah, I mean, he did kill Kakashi.
Yeah, and yeah, like I said, he didn't like kill Kakashi, but like I've stolen your soul. No, it's like here you're gonna bleed to death,
Yeah, pretty much.
which means there's no blood in his body. His heart has stopped beating. There's no oxygen to his brain. He's dead, and you can just undo death like that to an entire village or entire city. Basically, they're called villages. They're basically
Yeah.
cities.
All right, well, let's move on before we not
Yeah,
stop with this one. This is our other problem.
the original Mr. Emo anime kid,
And another
Sakura,
example of starts out
Sasuke
fine and then
Uchiha.
goes downhill quickly.
Yeah, Sasuke Uchiha, who all comes from a magic clan of special eye powers, and he's the last surviving member of his clan. Woe
Well,
is me,
second.
angst is me. Yep. He always says he's the last because the other one who's alive kills his entire clan, which
Well, actually, no.
okay, well, everyone believes that, but because of retcons.
I'm just saying, the red guys, there's like 5 who's just still standing.
Honestly, I would not be surprised if in the next issue of Boruto they find out, oh no, there's an entire family. We were out getting snacks in the other village. Did you hear what happened to Clan? No, we don't pay attention to modern news. It's been 20 plus years. Well, these are magic snacks. They take 20 years to make.
And don't get me started on being the last survivors of a clan, because what are the odds you killed everyone?
They're ninjas. Shouldn't they be able to hide? And
Like, I know Itachi had like great help trying to massacre the rest of the Uchihas, and there was a whole massive plan about Itachi trying to work with an evil ninja
Mhm.
organization as a spy
Mhm.
and stop the Uchiha revolt and all that.
Yeah.
But you really killed every other Uchiha besides your brother? Like, how long would that take?
Okay. So let's just say there are 100 Uchihas. Let's just say 30 of them are only active ninjas. The rest are like civilians or retirees too old to fight. Um, Even if you were the greatest, willing to bet some of them had booby traps all over the place. You know, you live in a ninja village, you're going to be over precautious.
A little bit.
Uh, you're about to start a coup, so you're going to be extra precautious. Sure, okay, you'll let your guard down because Itachi's going to be on our side. So, okay, if all 30 of the best combatants are in one room and you don't blow the room up or booby trap the room yourself to kill them, that's going to lead to a ninja fight. And ninja fights in this series are not like nobody makes a sound. Silently, you slash at each other. No, they just spit fireballs at each other.
And here's the thing, it's like,
Yes, Itachi had his superpowered illusion eyes and his black flame eye and his giant skeleton ghost, but okay, one of those three things is going to hurt everybody.
not to mention, nobody in the Uchiha clan raised an alarm for the village. Like, I know you felt like the entire village hated your clan, but somebody would have set off some sort of alarm.
Okay, take into account that the Uchihas hate the village. They probably don't hate everyone in the village. Also, what about those Uchihas? There's got to be at least a handful who did not live in the Uchiha district because, like, I married this flower girl. She's not a ninja. I've got no interest in the Uchiha stuff. Oh, sure. Would the clan have killed him for that? Because if that's the case, then yeah, I can see why Itachi had to kill them. Because, but
It just feels really weird, because anything that you could argue with it just kind of comes like. So
like,
was this just like the night that
only
all it was like a holiday? All the good Uchihas had to be in the village or something like that. I'm like, what?
yeah, some of them had to be away for missions because oh yeah, I've recalled all Uchihas. Well, some of them are on missions and are in radio silence. They won't get the message to return for weeks until their mission is done. Like maybe if Itachi poisoned them all, but we get scenes of him slashing and murdering. Sasuke remembers this. Is that just guilt Sasuke has created? Like he imagines there was this massacre when in actuality Itachi just basically played a game of Hitman with infinite poison darts or poison needles and just went, "You're dead. You're dead. You're dead. You're dead." Because the lethal poison in Hitman is just you stick them with a needle and then they fall over dead. Not even 2 seconds later.
But this is the start, and then we get into the later part of Sasuke, who is the emo villain.
Yes, who literally starts a international war. I'm not saying he starts a war between two nations. No, he drags all the nations into a war.
All
Yes,
because
he was manipulated to do this, but he's still the guy who went like, this idea to start a war, I agree with it.
well, see, the part of him not liking how all the Kages are pretty much keeping a um pretty much a silent war going. Okay, I'm with you on that part. They're pretty much
Yeah,
just
yeah, a Cold War is terrible to live through. Yes, the two of us basically don't remember the Cold War, but not that old. But yeah, a lot of people have still anxiety of the Cold War. Some people cannot get over the fact that it's technically over.
so on that point. I'm with you, Sasuke.
Yeah,
What
no,
I'm
no.
not agreeing with is exacerbating the situation.
This Cold War is a problem. You know what would fix the Cold War? A hot war. Huh, I was expecting a hot war to be more about bikinis.
Not only that, you we're willing, like, the number of people you've killed in your pursuit of revenge,
Mm-hmm.
gotten people from your village killed trying to rescue you,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Betrayed your village for power from a guy who just went and tried to do an assassination to your village's leader.
and probably has touched a few kids. I'm sorry, but I'm
Yeah, no. There's no way. Honestly, Orochimaru should be on as many lists as Master Roshi, but for slightly different reasons.
yeah, I'll take Master Roshi over Orochimaru.
Barely. I mean, he watched the girl poop.
Yeah, but the other options are Orochimaru.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying Orochimaru's not worse, but I'm just saying Roshi's not as great.
No, no. At least we can claim Dry hasn't done that.
Yeah. Also, Jiraiya is way better than Hapasai.
God, yes. But we're
Yeah.
gonna go back on the subject.
No, these guys are better to talk about than these than Sasuke.
This man has, for so many reasons, gotten so many people killed. Should be basically hung for his heinous crimes,
Or just permanently locked up in a jail.
but gets a free pass because he's Naruto said, "Oh, everything's all fine."
And then another Kage's like, well, if Naruto likes him, then Naruto's my bestest.
Like there was no
You're not Naruto's
repercussions.
best. No, like a lot of people like to point out that that Sasuke is just like Vegeta. They're both tortured souls that killed. Um, okay, technically, Vegeta is kind of worse, but kind of better. Vegeta gets the excuse of a magical wish dragon that can know people from across the universe. Yeah, when they wished back everyone good, Vegeta came back to life too, and everyone's like, "Hey, your Halo's gone. I'm good now." And
All
he's
right,
like,
well, let's pause there for a second. Let's go back to the start for a second and make comparisons. Both
Sure.
lost their one lost their clan, one lost their planet, and almost their entire species.
"Yes,
Because regardless of his special powers, he is still human.
yes."
So, huge bit of a difference there. Second
Vegeta
thing,
also Vegeta comes from a race of, well, violent space monkeys.
Yeah,
They
pretty much.
literally live for combat. That's what they were genetically kind of bred for. They
it's how they
don't think
survived. There's no argument here.
they don't think like humans do. They're human adjacent, but they're a different species. They have
Not
a
only
different sense
that,
of lot
their world was different. Their history was different.
culture.
They
Their cultures are
yeah, they did what they had to do to survive. I won't blame them on that part.
yes,
The
they were
actions
always going
for
to be
that were
monsters.
terrible, yes, and they removed the truffles was a horrible thing. Don't get me wrong.
Canon or otherwise.
Yeah.
And no, having Frieza did not make them evil. They were always going to be evil. It's just,
They were taken advantage of by Frieza, which made them worse.
yes, Frieza just took a bunch of violent fire ants and like, I can weaponize these.
Yeah, pretty much.
They were always going to destroy the ecosystem they were in. Frieza just put them
to
in
use for me.
Frieza just put them in jars and threw them on other islands.
Yeah,
Essentially, what Frieza did.
he just wanted to make
But
money
the
off of
thing-
this shit.
But the thing is, Vegeta also does show guilt. By the time we get the Super, he's trying to be a good dad. He's not great. We joke he's a better dad than Goku. That's up in the air, honestly.
I don't think it is, but at least, especially when Brock comes around.
Yeah, Vegeta is doing more effort to be a dad, but at the same time, he's also like, as soon as he doesn't have the excuse, I'm going right back to fighting.
Meanwhile,
Whereas
this asshole commits war crimes.
wants revenge against his brother, then for his brother, not understanding that's not what his brother wanted, because later on he finds out his brother was the good guy.
Not only that, was willing to kill his teammates to do it, not even keeping them alive.
Literally holds one of his friends hostage, like with the intent of murdering her, and then marries and has a kid with her.
Jesus Christ, Sakura.
And she's the smart one.
You sure?
Like, I have so many issues with that alone. Like,
See, this is.
I don't think
I'm just gonna say it now. I
Vegeta
hate.
never threatened Bulma.
Well.
Directly, like with a beam to her head.
Fair enough.
He's just rude and a bastard to her at times, but honestly, it kind of seems like that's what Bulma likes in a relationship.
I think they just like to
Sakura
challenge each other.
Sakura has an idealized version of Sasuke that does not exist, and that's what she's in love with.
I'm sorry. I'm just gonna say now. I really hate the fantasy. Some. I'm not saying all women. Don't get me wrong. But some women
Yeah,
have this deep fantasy. Oh, I can fix the evil villain. Bitch, he just eradicated
yeah,
a village with a blink of an eye. What the fuck?
yeah. A lot of women who have, or actually, a lot of, I know some guys who want that in a partner as well, and they can fix that. So it basically people want a toxic relationship, and I don't understand it. Then again, I'm the guy who goes or sitting when someone has the anime trope of, oh, they're always arguing. That means they love each other. I'm just going, no, they clearly hate each other. Where is this romance you people see? I just see two people screaming at each other, and that just makes me really awkward. How is this romantic? That's why I don't like pairings like Kagome and Inuyasha, Akane and Ranma. Wow, she did that a lot, didn't she? I think she also did that in Yurusei Yatsure.
I forget that one.
And so, yeah. So the reason why we forgive Vegeta is one part the magical wish dragon gave him a Deus Ex Machina, which we've already been established how that dragon works for so long.
Well, the other thing is, once Vegeta's not under Frieza's heel, he really just kind of stops killing everyone, and then
He
like,
become he turns his focus from galactic conquest to I just want to be the toughest guy in the room,
yeah.
which he's toxic about for a while, but eventually by Super he managed to turn that into a good thing.
Well, here's the
Like
other thing.
he's
Oh,
done character growth.
Frieza's here. Oh, I'm not gonna go back for it. I'm gonna try and help you guys kill him because I hate him more than you.
Yeah, Vegeta for a while was always whoever I hate the most I'm fighting, but he also was willing to put aside his differences to work with people. As much whenever Vegeta decided to get lost in his pride, that's when he felt back on the evil wagon. As soon as he gave up his pride, dude's actually a really good member of the heroes.
And then used his pride to make himself better.
Yeah,
Especially when he was teaching Kappa to go Super Saiyan.
yeah, when he wasn't using his pride as toxic, you know. That's why I agree with Dragon Ball Z Abridged when they did the commentary. But whenever they always get a cringe whenever they see someone with a edgy Vegeta shirt, like, oh, there's a seat in hell for me. It's called the throne. Like, that's not good Vegeta. That's Vegeta when he's about to get his ass handed by Perfect Cell.
Yeah, but sometimes it's funny and can be like,
I get a laugh at it when people do it ironically, but when, people who do it sincerely.
yeah.
Like, they miss the point of Vegeta. Like, the best Vegeta scene for me is when he's watching Goku fight Kid Buu. He's like, shit, you are the best of us. Like,
you know what my favorite Vegeta meme was? Crawl is acceptable, bleed is acceptable, all these things are acceptable, but not giving up is not acceptable.
Yeah, which, going back to Sasuke, he kind of just keeps giving up what he wants to go on the next kick of revenge.
Like, first it was to kill his brother. Okay, well, you find out your brother wasn't the villain. He was pretty much a spy for the
his beloved hidden leaf. He was an Uchiha who put the village before his family. Essentially, he thought of the needs of the many over the needs of the few.
Mm-hmm. Oh well,
and then
the village got my brother killed. Time to go burn the village down.
No, you got your brother killed, and he wanted you to do that so you'd get stronger to defend yourself, and then help the village create. Then you've completely gone on the rocker again.
I'm sorry,
like,
it's kind of telling when your brother's backup plan was to use an implanted eye in a crow to pop out to hypnotize you to go back to being a good guy to protect the village.
I forgot that was a thing.
Yeah.
Okay then.
Because that was just kind of a all right moment. Like, okay. What really got
Sasuke,
weird was when that same crow popped out of Naruto's mouth, hypnotized Itachi to get the undead Itachi so that he would be a friend of Naruto to protect the village. I'm seeing smoke coming out of your ears from that.
Okay.
That's not even the worst of it. The worst of it is when we get to the other guy later on down the road for this.
Okay. So anyway, like I understand in Boruto, the sequel to Naruto sequel, he does apparently go on journeys of repentment.
Well, here's the thing. He's even worse of a father than Naruto is.
Yeah, he's never there. Like Naruto's at least a couple
Naruto,
blocks
no,
away.
allow me to bring out the fine moment for this.
Sure.
Naruto can at least recognize his kids.
Oh God.
Sasuke almost kills his daughter because he doesn't recognize her at first.
Oh my. Okay, like, did she look massively different?
Okay, here's the setup. So she went with Naruto to chase after someone as like a four-man cell kind of thing. Fine. I don't think you should have brought the kids with you, but whatever. We've done
That's the
dumber
point.
things in this show.
That's the point of that show, yeah.
So when they get to a point, they find Sasuke there. Sasuke grabs his daughter, holds her against the wall, and almost plants a sword through her neck because he doesn't recognize her at first.
And yet she's traveling with Naruto, who is his best friend.
Friendship, everybody.
Why do people think he's some...
Now, here's the other thing. You think with all there's things with it that you remember all that stuff that he found with the cats and all that Uchiha stuff and the warning about
No.
caring too much.
No, because that was so dumb, my brain decided to throw that out the window. Yeah, apparently the crime the Uchiha clan have is they care too much.
Yeah, well, you know, what's warning her about all that stuff? I'll just keep traveling and never worry about my daughter having any of these issues whatsoever.
Suddenly Goku being dead just doesn't feel like it hits the same. Okay, at least Goku would say, bye, son.
Well, you know, I'm going to save that for the Dragon Ball argument because we're going to have a lot of talk about with that one.
I mean, I do think the Goku's a bad dad joke has gotten a bit out of control.
I'm not saying Goku would win Father of the Year.
No,
But I'm just saying,
he
like,
not.
he's not as bad as a father people make him out to be, and I don't want to do that argument here.
And I may love that Piccolo is Goku's actual dad, but no,
Gohan,
Piccolo
not
did
Goku.
abuse yeah, Piccolo and Gohan, but yeah, Piccolo literally did abuse Gohan, so yeah, let's not.
Yeah, but let's move on because
Let's deal with the next important member of the squad.
Real quick, if there was some form of punishment between Shippuden and Boruto, maybe like you could have talked about it or something like that. But as far as after everything he's done, oh yeah, you helped save the planet. That excuses everything you did, and there's no longer any problems with you, despite any family members you might have killed.
Okay, randomly, I have to talk about a spoiler from the TV show Amphibia. A character who is secretly evil and immortal does a heel face turn at the end of Amphibia, so spends the rest of his immortal cyborg life going about the planet planting trees. That's his punishment. Like, he's going to be spending the rest of his eternal life planting trees to undo the damage his family did for generations. That's a punishment. Dude is now forced to be a hermit and planting trees. What kind of life is that? That sounds terrible. Not much of a punishment, but it's still a punishment, for God's sake. Like, give Sasuke something. Like, I don't know, he has to go to every village and get hit with tomatoes for like 4 days and then go on to the next village. That's at least something. Now he just seems to be just wandering about. Which, isn't that a big fucking deal for ninjas? You can't leave your village unsupervised unless you're on a mission, because then you could just go rogue at any time.
Oh, but he's the Shadow Hokage, the one that supports the Hokage.
Couldn't he be in the village supporting the Hokage?
Well, then he might be doing his job.
And then he wouldn't be starting a Cold War.
Well, here's Pinky.
Oh, Sakura. One of anime's biggest and the token girl of the team.
I don't understand why she's so popular.
Because she's the only female character who was around for the longest time, and girls wanted to watch action, but wanted a character they could associate with. And that's fair. Like, it's fair to want representation in a show. It should be done better. A lot of animes are still kind of on their female leads. Like, I like Uchako from My Hero, but she's still not one of the big main characters anymore. but at least she had a personality
Wait,
where
hold on a
Sakura's
second.
entire
Let me check. Oh wait. Oh, hi Rukia. How you doing?
yeah, Rukia is an example of how you do a female protagonist. Orihime is a better example too, and still has issues with Orihime.
I just think at a certain point she's just around for nothing more than heels.
Which is basically what Sakura is too, only they kind of forget that too. But
No,
okay, Sakura.
here's everything I have for her in a nutshell. During the second fight with Kakashi, he mentioned that he trained her as a genjutsu expert. When the
Genjutsu
fuck was this?
in this universe, Genjutsu is illusion technique. You know, making people think they see or hear things. Very ninja-like. The ninjutsus are split into the magic fireballs, fisticuffs, and illusion cuffs.
Yeah,
And
taijutsu, which is martial arts.
we don't need to get into the exact details. Souls,
I'm
just
sorry.
that's good enough. We C was supposed to be the well, basically Naruto's original team was Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura. It was supposed to be Naruto physical, Sasuke the magic fireball guy, Sakura to represent the trifecta of the ninja stools. That was thrown out the fucking window. She
And
learned.
hell.
She learns to be the physical one because her mentor is known for two things. Well, four things, but we don't count the giant tits.
Moo.
She's known for her insane super strength and her insane healing abilities, and
Well-
she decided to take under her wing and make Sakura basically the next her, which that's actually pretty cool sounding. Like,
Yeah, I mean the reason for her immense strength is her precise chakra control,
which is used in healing, so
right? And
it
Sakura
makes-
has that. I have no issue with that.
yeah, but then she doesn't really do anything. Like,
Well, like I said-
she has the move set to be really fucking interesting.
Mhm.
Like, you know, the joke of I'm a healer, but but I can also kick your ass is something I greatly like. Like, technically, uh, medics who fight are immediately no longer exempt from being. When a medic fights in war, then they get allowed to be shot. But if a medic is purely a medic, shooting a medic is a war crime.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of don't want your medics to ever have to defend themselves. The only exception is that if the medic has no choice but to. Regardless, her moveset sounds interesting on paper. Like, I like the idea that, push comes to shove, so you can either save your life or beat the shit out of the person who's in danger.
Again, I would just like to point out the other difference between what you just said a minute ago and these are ninjas, so rules kind of go out the window a little bit.
Yeah, you're not wrong about that. You're not wrong about that. But she does one amazing healing start of Shippuden, does an okay fight where she's basically more or less just a beat stick for someone else to use against the bad guy. Like, she did not win that fight. Grandma won that fight.
Yeah.
And then she just kind of gets sidelined, despite the fact that she's supposed to be the third main character.
Mm-hmm.
And her original character trait, before her learning illusions and then not learning illusions, was she was a bookworm. She was immensely studying. That was her thing. She liked to study. She liked to learn. She was going to be kind of misexplain it.
Yeah, she was essentially book smart.
And they made her physically the strongest member. She didn't get dumber. She just never had an opportunity to prove she's book smart unless it was medical related. But before that, she was just studying everything. Yes, in fiction, characters can know like 5 different study.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at you, every scientist in any superhero comic.
Oh, but Ed, you forgot her other character trait.
Her obsessiveness over Sasuke.
Yes.
Which is, like I said, when we talk about Sasuke, she has an idealized version of brooding, handsome bad boy. Yeah, he ain't that in the slightest. He's just angry, revenge-seeking. He's not misunderstood. He is tortured, yes, but not in the you can fix him way. The only way this guy's getting fixed is through, counseling. Therapy, counseling.
Am I saying Sasuke's beyond all redemption? No.
No, it's fiction.
Am I saying he's going to get it with Sakura? Oh, hell no.
No, she's going to enable the fuck out of him. Because a lot of situations when someone does date someone or marry someone for the instinct to I can fix them, it ends up accidentally being enablers.
And that's why Sasuke can go wherever the fuck he wants, and she's not mad about it.
Yeah, she's left home alone to raise her kid. He put a baby in that oven and left.
Shit, it got so
It's-
bad. Her daughter wasn't even sure she was her mother. I'm
That
not even lying.
makes no sense, and I don't want to know the context. That just sounds painful to. Okay. It ends up being of the three main characters, Sakura is the one I give the most pity to, the one I feel had the worst upbringing, the worst life.
And she had a family.
Yeah. Which we don't see much of her family.
I think the most
The-
I've seen of her parents was in the movie special when Naruto and Sakura got to the other universe.
Okay. That's non-canon as fuck, so
Actually, I think that's canon.
no.
Really?
All the movies are non-canon apparently.
Whatever.
I could be wrong. Maybe he changed his mind again.
Let me ask you this one. Does it really change anything?
Not really, no.
Exactly.
But yeah, the only character trait that Sakura keeps is her obsession over Sasuke, which,
Blinds her to
Girl-
so much.
girl, you can do so much better.
Well, not only that, she makes a big speech with the other kids. Hey, we gotta save Sasuke and bring him back. Look, and the other one's smart enough, like, okay, look, girl, you got one chance, otherwise we're kicking his ass.
Unfortunately, they didn't kick his ass hard enough.
No.
Now, that being said, no, I've other things to say positively about her.
And there's a time skip appearance. Not really much has changed.
At least she's not overly sexualized.
No.
Okay, well, yeah, and there's a positive.
Yeah, there you go. Let's go into something intelligent.
This was after their ninja school academy days, they get a private, basically a on the field teacher.
Mm-hmm.
This is Kakashi. This is one of Soul's absolute favorite characters ever in media. And I feel so bad for this man. Essentially, he is, when we first introduced him, he is the first hyper competent person.
Yeah.
Like, that's the joke. The joke is he's hyper competent and lazy.
Mm-hmm.
His laziness is done out of a massive amount of guilt. But that's the joke. He's competent and lazy. Like,
And he doesn't. There's a big air of mystery about him because he doesn't share much.
no. And there are some good running jokes about his mystery.
Mm-hmm. Like
What's
the
underneath
first
your mask? What underneath my mask is another mask.
Like he's one of the best characters in this show, and the 6-part minisode about his past was so amazing. It put like a lot of Naruto to shame.
Yeah, it was mostly about stealth and shit and assassinations. You know,
Ninja
ninja-ing.
stuff. Oh, and PTSD and shit like that.
Yeah, yeah. There's a reason why this man looks like he's dead on the inside. Because he's slightly dead on the inside.
Yeah, I mean, just for an example, this looks like the eyes of a well-balanced person.
Yeah, this is him in the past when he was part of the super secret Ambu, which is supposed to be the best ninjas according to Soul. They are the one ninjas to first die.
They're pretty much standard ninjas in some of the parts.
From what you told me, they're basically the Star Trek equivalent of red shirts.
It feels like it sometimes.
Yeah.
At least
Kakashi is definitely a prime example of I'm in the wrong fucking show.
Yeah. Because the thing
Like-
about it is that when he first takes this class, he has failed he has failed so many other students because they did not learn the lesson he was trying to teach them at the start, to work together.
Yeah, his first lesson is if you're not a fucking team, you're going to die. I'm not letting you die on my hands. So you fail my first exam, get the fuck out.
In the wise words that Kakashi first told them, a ninja that doesn't follow the rules is trash. But those that did not support their I forget the exact wording, but those that do not support their friends are worse than trash. He's literally telling you work together and support each other.
Yeah, his first test is supposed to be impossible to solve. He's light years ahead of them in combat. He ties 2 bells to his belt and says, "Okay, get these 2 belts and 2 of you pass."
But there's 3 of us, Sensei.
Did miscount.
Yeah, and you don't fail and go back to ninja school. No, you fail and never become a ninja.
Hmm. So the lesson of the exam is if you three work together and get the bells, you all have the bells. So there go, you all pass. Them being two bells is to throw you off your game. It's
Or who
brilliant.
is willing to get the idea to work together first?
Hmm. Certainly not Mr. I have the destiny to avenge my clan and Mr. I'm so loud I don't think.
Mm. Or Ms. Oh, I have to support Sasuke. Bitch, you don't even know where
Yeah,
he went.
no, and she does not want Naruto on the team because she finds him annoying. So her first train of thought is, if I can help Sasuke, two of us pass, and Naruto gets left behind. Sasuke's first thought is, I have to get those bells because only I matter. And
Yeah,
Naruto's just loud and wants to be a ninja, so he's not thinking at all. He's not even thinking of, if I get Bell, these two don't pass. He's just thinking, I get Bell.
and it gets really convoluted when Kakashi's actually got connections to Sasuke and Naruto.
Yes.
Okay.
Naruto's father was his mentor.
Mm-hmm.
Behind Kakashi's headband is a eye that Sasuke belongs to Sasuke's clan. He got from a friend. So ergo, it makes sense for him to be with both of these kids in a sense. He has history with them to help them improve. Although honestly, personality-wise, Kakashi and Naruto are not a good combination for learning and studying each other. Naruto needs someone much more grounded and fatherly, I think. Kakashi
Well,
is
here's the thing. At the
emotionally
first start,
withdrawn.
I agree to this.
Oh yeah,
Because at
I'm
the
not saying they could not grow to be a good
Mhm.
unit. I'm just saying if I was in charge, Kakashi would be the last person I'd pick for Naruto because that's not what I would think he would need at the first.
and
Yes, I'm happy to be proven wrong, but
and don't get
yeah.
us wrong. Kakashi doesn't have any hate or anything towards Naruto because he's kind of more in the know about it.
Also,
But
it feels like if even if he wasn't a no, he's starting to go. You guys are hating on a baby.
yeah, he
Fuck is
just
wrong with you?
thinks that Naruto is too hyperactive and too dumb to
Yeah,
pull off half the shit he's pulling off. And he's not
yeah,
wrong most of the time.
no. That being said, though, whenever any of us students do well, Kakashi is the kind of guy I go, oh, good job.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he pretty
Uh,
much told Naruto when he got freed from Zabuza, "Good job. Now get the hell out of here so I can fight."
my first thought was, good job. Now step back. You're in the splash zone, which
And
works as a double joke if you know who Zabuza
but
is.
just so I can rant because I like Kakashi so much. At the age of 6, his father committed suicide because he dropped the mission to go save his friends, failed to save his friends, and the mission was a failure and still caused more harm.
Yeah, he done fucked up.
And Kakashi walked in on this, and at the age of 6, it got into his head, only thing that matters are the rules.
Which makes sense for how PTSD is.
Mm-hmm. Then, later on, when he learns that the rules aren't everything, he loses his best friend.
Yeah, that's where he gets his eye from.
Mm-hmm.
And so of his best friend. He literally lost his eye in a fight, and his best friend kind of gave him his eyes. Like, hey, I'm dying. You can have this.
Then stabs the girl that he might actually have a romance feelings for at probably, I think, like 13, somewhere like that, through the
Yes.
chest with his own hand.
Yep.
Because she was being sent back to Konoha as a bomb with a demon inside of her.
Mhm.
Then loses the two people that are actually kind of like semi-teacher parents to him, of the fourth Hokage and his wife, when the giant demon attacks.
Yeah. If anyone has a reason
Then
to...
works
Keep
as an assassin for Anbu, killing people, and pretty much has a death wish because of how he fights.
Also, doesn't he befriend Itachi in a sense, and his friend then
I'm
goes
getting
on to
there.
be okay, that's yeah. So
Then, as captain of Anbu, he pretty much takes Itachi into his unit and feels responsible for that whole issue because he didn't see that coming.
Oh, any wonder why Kakashi looked like he's dead inside? Like basically, I feel like Naruto and Sasuke are in a like my life is worse than your life, and he's just in the background going, "Oh, you sweet innocent summer children."
I love it when Kakashi ties Sasuke to the tree, and Sasuke's like, "Let me kill everybody that's important to you." And then you know how I feel. It's like, "Oh, that's a good point. Interesting. You're a little late on that fact, bitch.
Yep.
Everybody I already care about is already dead.
It's happened multiple times.
2 of them I killed myself."
Yeah. It's amazing Kakashi doesn't live with a bottle in his mouth, constantly chugging wine or booze.
I think the books are a supplement for the alcohol.
Yeah, yeah. He's coping with something. But I do love the fact that one of the reasons why he's canonically always late to shit is he's spending time at a memorial basically like, oh, I want to spend time with my friends.
He's literally talking to the people that he respected during the war that he lost his friends with, and lamenting that they're gone and that he felt he caused it, and telling them about how his day is.
Yeah.
He literally, someone found him at the gravesite and said, "You should come early." He's like, "I've been here since 5 a.m. I'm still late."
I'll be late to everything. Honestly, it really feels like the Hidden Leaf desperately needs a bunch of ninja strings.
And it gets even worse when you realize that part of his jokes is what his friend used to do.
Mm-hmm. He's basically trying to live for his friend. Oh, and then let's not forget that his student, he takes special attention on Sasuke because he realizes, okay, Sasuke, you and I have a lot of in common, not just the eyeball stuff. Let me try and mentor you and get you away from the... And he went down the...
I should not have taught you the Chidori.
Shouldn't taught you anything. This is all my fault. You have these techniques.
Yeah, he does blame himself for Sasuke leaving because he was not able to stop that. So he was willing to kill Sasuke to fix his mistake.
Yes. He also does feel a little bit of lament that he is not the best teacher for Naruto and Sakura. They end up going off to people better suited to teach them. And he's basically like, well, I was no good to any of these kids.
Which is a little unfair because he did teach from the basics.
Yeah, he was actually fairly good for them. Like I mentioned that I don't think he was the best teacher for Naruto, but dude did the best job he could and did a pretty good job with it. Honestly, I just feel like he's just like all the liquor stores and the Hidden Leaf just do not let him in the door because they realize if he ever starts, he'll never leave. And then later on, he ends up becoming Hokage because he's basically the only candidate capable of taking the job, and he's just like, why me? Why me?
You're going to make him Hokage, I think, right after Tsunade got taken down for a little bit.
Yeah, there's multiple opportunities where we're like, all right, we're without a leader. Kakashi, you're up. Oh, fuck.
I'll say this, though. He wears the Hokage robes well.
Yeah. Although, basically, he pulls as soon as he's allowed to. Naruto, you're in charge.
And you know what the funny thing is? He's one of the few people that's like, oh, I can't do Chito anymore because I lost my Sharingan. I'm just going to make a whole new jutsu to compensate for that.
No, you're supposed to over rely on one ability.
Bitch, I got 1,000 jutsus I can pull out of my ass.
Yeah, how about I be smart?
Yeah, just a quick note before we move on. Kakashi's known as the copy ninja and knows over 1,000 jutsus.
The original special power of the Sharingan is if you do an attack in front of someone with the Sharingan, they can copy it. Most of them don't remember the copy. They just can copy it then, and they're good just once. Kakashi's like, wait, oh, I see how that works. I'm just going to remember those hand signs, how you energy through your body, and now it's part of my repertoire forever.
Yeah, Kakashi is a proper prodigy, in my opinion.
Yeah. He is one part gifted, one part heavy training, one part I don't want to die.
Yeah.
Which is how you make, like, honestly, in terms of most badass character in the show, I think it's Kakashi. There are people who are stronger with more epic powers, but Kakashi just comes across as the closest thing to Batman in this universe.
Yeah, like he uses things in, like, remember with Zabuza when he pulled out the ninja hounds?
Yeah, he has a pack of trained ninja attack dogs, which are for tracking and for, like I said, attacking.
Mm-hmm.
He's not just because he has his magic fireball and his magic eyeball. He's willing to use bombs, throwing daggers, gadgets, and simple misdirection.
Oh, you know what the best misdirection he ever did was? He had another ninja watch a triplet of monkeys for like an hour because he had the monkeys disguised as him, Ten, and Neji. And the ninja never knew until he decided to attack the monkeys.
I'm sorry, I'm just picturing that joke from the first Sonic cartoon where Sonic just taps the guy on the shoulder. I'm over there, and then points the other way. I see Kakashi pulling that trick. Tap,
Pretty
tap.
much.
I'm not here. I'm over there. Well, thanks. Wait. Or another joke I love from The Simpsons. You can't kill me. Your shoes are untied. All right. They appear to be tied from here, but I will bend down to have a closer look. Taxi. Sunsets. Wait. On closer inspection, these are loafers. Like, basically, Kakashi's rolling charisma checks constantly.
And what's really insane is later on he finds out his best friend is alive and is planning to rule the world because he watched him kill the girl that he had a crush on.
So yeah, Kakashi can blame himself for that problem too, probably.
Yeah.
Even though it's not his fault. Look, if anyone deserves to just like scream at the sky for like a day, it's Kakashi.
Yeah. I mean, the only
I bet the only thing Kakashi's missing is 599 cooler clones kicking him in the nuts.
I mean, to be fair, at least Kakashi, in a sense, had Guy, but Jesus Christ, and sometimes Guy is just too much sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. At least he has friends. Like Kakashi clearly actually gets along with the other special ninja teachers.
Well,
I don't think he's gonna like hang out with them, but they're like, "Hey, you look like you're doing pretty bad today, Kakashi. You want to go get lunch?"
Well, see, that was the thing. They all talked about it. They were worried about Kakashi, but everybody knew some of the shit he went through. Like, I don't think they all knew the exact specifics, but they know he went through shit, and none of them were sure what to do about it. Guy was like, I'm just gonna do what I do best and challenge him to something stupid. Rock, paper, scissors, Kakashi. Let's go, my eternal rival, the power of youth.
We're in our 40s, man.
And somewhere along the way, he became Kakashi's best friend because he was not willing to abandon Kakashi to let him go down the road of self-destruction and PTSD he was going down.
And it does feel like because of Guy doing it, the other teachers are going like, hey, yeah, let's try and hang out with him a bit. Like, I can totally see them taking him out for like barbecue steak right now. Like, come on, buddy, let's just get a nice meal on me.
I mean,
don't
he's
think
one of the characters they make off so much better in Naruto because he's just having a relaxing time and just taking Guy to hot springs and shit like that.
He's basically retired and having a life.
Yeah, and he's still pretty much in top game, really.
Yeah, he's only not the Hokage because he just doesn't deserve the stress anymore. Although he honestly should be, because I would not put Naruto in charge of a plastic bag.
Yeah, so let's move on. Okay.
Oh boy.
You know that saying that he did nothing wrong?
What, you mean like Griffith?
God damn, where's my Dragon Slayer?
I don't actually believe that.
This
is the third Hokage. When the series starts, he's in charge because the fourth Hokage died, and he's basically put back in charge out of retirement because he's the only one at the time around and capable of doing it. They wanted one of his students to take over, but
they had one of his students take over. That was the fourth Hokage that died.
No, that was the student of a student.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they wanted the teacher of the fourth Hokage to take over, but
he had respect for the fourth Hokage. He knew the fourth Hokage. My mistake.
Yeah. He was like, Jiraiya basically held like, I'm not mentally well enough to do this job right now.
Well, let's see. There was Orochimaru who was no. Tsunadi's off gambling, and Jiraiya's off writing another book. Well, we can't find none, so you're up again.
Oh crap! I just heard this game of bridge. Yeah, basically the third Hokage was also the longest Hokage. Finally, I can retire. Super proud he can take. He died.
Here's the thing: he was fine until we started the retcon shit.
Yes,
or delving into the story, I should say.
He started off as a wise old man watching things through a magic crystal ball. That's weirdly okay.
Never let Jiraiya have that.
No.
But when you find out that, you were entrusted by the fourth to watch over his son, and you left him to live on his own with barely any money I shouldn't say barely any money, but to be left alone, and who raised Naruto when he was a baby? Like, I have questions about this.
Okay, the kid's been potty trained and can now eat solid food on his own. Bye!
Yeah, pretty much. That's what it feels like. Like, I know he probably had like, I know Kakashi from Amu probably popped in on him from time to time.
Okay, Naruto lived mostly off instant ramen. How is the boy not dead from malnutrition?
Not to mention, he was eating milk with expired milk, or eating cereal with expired milk. I have so many questions about this, and I know that it was supposed to point out that Naruto is alone and doesn't understand the basics, but
Okay,
how
why
did
did
he
no one
get
in
this
school?
far?
How did no one in school teach him, the safety of expiry dates?
Like, I honestly feel Kakashi should have been more involved in this kid's life with how close he was to the fourth.
Yeah, I can understand why Jiraiya wasn't. He wasn't in the village, but at the same, as soon as basically Jiraiya enters Naruto's life, he becomes full on dad.
Yeah, Jiraiya is literally the closest thing.
To a grandpa he has.
Yeah, like here's how I view it. Kakashi is a teacher to Naruto.
Yeah,
And
maybe a big brother.
Well, I say more
Maybe.
teacher than anything, and maybe like a cousin or something like that, like a favorite cousin that doesn't.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Jiraiya is literally the closest thing to a grandfather because of how close he was to the fourth Hokage. That there's literally a lot of questions going on here. Like, okay,
But
so
here's the thing: Jiraiya wasn't made his direct guardian. The third Hokage was.
technically the third wasn't either. He was just there and promised to take care of Naruto.
Well, then, yeah, guy's word doesn't mean jack shit to me. Then.
Like that's as far as I can remember. The only reason that Naruto survived because the third showed up, got the last couple of words from the fourth, and promised to take care of Naruto. So you see where my question is here?
Yeah. Well, we can't raise him in the Hokage mansion. He was going to be raised in the Hokage mansion regardless before his parents died. Oh, I already have a grandson. Grandparents can have multiple grandkids. Yeah.
Like
think
I don't think an orphanage would be that bad of a choice, and just keep an eye on him. I could agree this, but why did
like
no one?
it's not like he was radioactively leaking out the Nine-Tailed energy.
It's not like anybody had to say that he was the Nine Tails. Like I'm curious to where.
You're ninjas. Lie.
Like here's the thing. I'll spoil. Well, it's not really. I don't consider much of a spoiler, but each village was given a tailed beast to try and keep a equivalent of power.
Yep.
Okay, it's the equivalent of I forget what the term is.
Everyone has a nuke.
Yeah, it's the equivalent to that. If somebody plays the game, everybody loses essentially.
Yeah, the most dangerous game.
Nuclear deterrent is, I think, what it is.
Yes, that's it. That's it. Nuclear deterrent. Thank you. I was just thinking of it too.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm with you on that one. That's fine.
Yeah.
Naruto is now your nuclear deterrent. Whether you like the idea or not, that's how the world is currently.
Yeah, I'm against nuclear weapons. I'm also against nuclear weapons being not watched, not maintained, and the door being left open so the pizza delivery guy can show up. I'm not making up any of that. That is literally what happens with some nuclear silos.
So, why would you want to mistreat this child that could pretty much nuke your village again, essentially?
It's not like he is born inherently loyal to your village. You know how you make loyalty? By bonding with someone.
I mean, I'm not saying you have to treat this kid like bend to his every whim, like there's no other ways to try and lock him down, because the fourth Hokage can go, oh hey, Grim Reapers, power this down again. Yeah, there's going to be there's a price to pay for that, but it's one life versus the villages. He's willing to pay that.
Yep.
But
like,
I'm just
the third Hokage comes across as incredibly two-faced thanks to retcons.
I mean, he was also the one that helped Itachi pull off the coup with the Uchihas to get him with the
the secret organization that's trying to destroy the world that Kakashi's best friend is secretly leader of, but also secretly not leader of. I forget how that worked.
I'll get to that when we get to him. But in a way, in some ways, I appreciate his genius.
Mm.
Like he knows
He, okay,
that.
he's the third Hokage is very good at strategy for war and trying to keep the peace.
Mm-hmm.
Raising people, no.
Yeah, because he knows the Uchihas are unsatisfied, but he's also not willing to try and put them all to death.
Yep.
Or anything like that. And he knows that Ambu Root, which is kind of like a subsection root under another character that pops up later in Shippuden, is not to be trusted at all. But because he's useful, and we're in a ninja world, let's be honest, there are some things that are going to be double-faced regardless.
Yes.
Knows to keep an eye on it, but it's useful.
Yes.
Plus, it keeps the evil man quiet.
Yeah. Basically, it's the whole you keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
Mm-hmm. But when you look at it from the perspective of Naruto as a baby, a lot of questions get brought up about this because he knows Naruto himself is not a danger.
Mm-mm.
And he knows that if there's ways Naruto could release that demon and pretty much screw over the village.
Yes.
That's happened multiple times throughout the series, actually.
I mean, it's not like the Nine Tails is impacted by Naruto's emotional. Oh wait,
Yeah.
thank goodness the Nine Tails doesn't get released by depression and only anger. But as someone who suffered through depression and still does at times, ain't too far away from it.
I'm just saying it's like I'm not even saying Naruto as a weapon is my problem here. It's the you have a time gap of baby to 12 that we have some questions concerning this.
Yeah.
If your 12-year-old is drinking spoiled milk with his cereal, you might want to sit him down and have a long talk with him.
That sounds like responsibility.
Let's move on because I'm.
Yeah. That was Naruto's dad, the legendary fourth Hokage.
I think it was
Not much
like
of a character.
the Flash Step or something like some fancy title like that because he had a jutsu.
And
pretty much
discount Yoroichi got it.
Yeah, but technically he was faster. Or his technique was anyway. If you could mark you.
Yeah. But did it make a popping sound like Goku?
No, but I think he had a muffin button.
Yeah, sorry we keep bringing up Dragon Ball Z and Abridged. Dragon Ball Z Abridged and Bleach. They're just more fun. They've aged better.
It's because they're comparable in some regards.
Yeah, they are all shonen shows, although one was a parody shonen show, so.
But
anyway, Naruto's dad does show up kind of later on as kind of a ghost in Naruto's seal.
And somehow had half the Nine Tails inside of him somehow.
But at least he did what he could to show up to help his son, even though he doesn't show up until his son's in what, 15, 16?
Yeah, it kind of explains the whole backstory about how, oh yeah, you're my son. My wife's really important for this other clan that could seal the beasts, which we'll get to that in a minute. Oh yeah, by the way, I had half the chakra of the Nine Tails sealed inside of me, so you've only been using half of the Nine Tails power this entire time and still wreaking havoc with it?
Here, have more power, kid.
Yeah, I think that's the real first major ass pull I feel for this one.
Not me. That feels like basically just piling onto it, but that's fair. I mean, we all have different thresholds.
I'm not saying there was an ass pull before that, but this felt like the first major one that was like...
really? Fair enough. That's not what I feel like, but that's just me. Anyway,
yeah,
he tried to be a dad, but again, due to plot controversy, he couldn't show up sooner inside Naruto.
Well, here's the other thing. At least he was dead as a father.
Yes, he has that excuse. He has the Goku excuse of being dead at the time. My side.
I mean, Sasuke, I know your father was a dick, but Jesus Christ, at least he showed up around you.
Yes. Apparently, Sasuke's dad actually spent time with his son.
I mean, I know he primarily did it with Itachi and probably put you down for being not as great as your brother, but at least you saw the man.
Yes. Uh,
But as a teacher, Minato, I think is how you pronounce it. He was a
yes.
great teacher, a great Hokage, from what I understand, because he was a Kakashi's
He
teacher.
he had a 100% approval rating, basically.
Yeah.
Everyone loved him. He was handsome, but he also wasn't a legendary kid at birth. He also was kind of a class clown at the start because he lagging behind some of his fellow classmates when he was a kid. But through the teachings of the great sage Jiraiya, he found who he was and became a big fucking deal.
Mm-hmm. Then he
And
met
got
his wife.
he basically married his childhood sweetheart.
Mm-hmm. And she was one of the few things that inspired him to be better as well.
Yes. And she was impressed by him and his determination. And from what
Because
we
she,
understand,
like Naruto, because she was the seal for the nine-tailed fox before him, she was
Yep.
picked on and looked down upon as well.
which again,
Makes
I get
lacking of sense.
I get trying to avoid her for danger, but Soul, there's an unexploded nuclear bomb in your backyard. What's your first instinct to do to it?
I would go kick it.
Yeah.
I'm American, dude. What the hell do you think?
So basically, everyone in Hidden Leaf is American. Got it. That explains so goddamn much.
Somehow it does. I'm not saying Kakashi's Canadian because no.
I don't know. He definitely feels more Canadian and chill about shit.
Maybe he's English.
Australian.
That'll work. But Minato was one of the few people to treat her as a person and really liked her red hair, so they grew close.
Yeah,
and
people also teased her because red hair was a very odd. There's pink hair that's natural in this universe. I don't quite get that.
There's pink hair, there's blue hair, there's white hair, there's gray hair, but red, no, that's too weird.
Some kid's gonna show up with Yugi's hair.
I don't even know.
I still wonder how Yugi styles his hair.
Lots and lots of gel.
I was thinking lots and lots of poking the fork into the electric outlet.
But I mean, we don't see too much of them except for like flashbacks, them as ghosts, and when Minato came back as a zombie. Yeah, it got kind of weird a little bit later on.
No, I'm sorry. I'm just thinking of a joke from a small place as a Transformers review, and then how was a zombie?
Yeah, it just.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Oh, remember that best friend of Kakashi's I mentioned earlier?
Yeah, here he is, the ultimate evil.
This is Obito, Uchiha. One of the other survivors of the Uchiha clan. But this is the one that helped Itachi kill the clan, so technically there are 3 survivors.
Yes.
Currently, at the count.
Mm.
Now, the interesting thing I really like about here is because Kakashi has the other eye, their powers are kind of linked to go to this other dimension for travel. Obito's eye allows him to affect himself. Kakashi's eye can affect things that he sees. So there's a difference in it, but they still go to the same place. I like this. This was interesting.
Yes.
Where it loses me is, I saw Kakashi kill my best friend. I know everything that was going, or the girl that I kind of crush on, but I know that he wasn't doing it intentionally. He was doing it to try to save the village. But because I'm upset, I'm still going to go with this evil plan. And not talk to the person who helped raise me, or my best friend to let them know I'm alive so they can get rid of that guilt. No, I'm just going to go along with this evil plan to put everybody into a hypnosis so they can all dream their best dreams.
What?
Yeah, you see the moon reflects everything. Everybody can see the moon. So just look at the moon and have your best dream ever.
Okay, we just had the solar eclipse here the other day. The actual totality of the eclipse was blocked by the clouds, so hope your plan never involved a cloudy day.
You know what the really funny thing is? Someone actually brought up points like, would this plan work with television?
Huh. Uh,
Yeah, it's an interesting thought. I'm just saying.
you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
But as it turns out, everybody thought that this was Madara, the evil Uchiha from like 3 generations back. Is it like no, maybe 4,
Yeah.
5, somewhere
I don't.
in the past. Look, going back to the 3rd Hokage from the 4th Hokage really screwed up my time frame for this. So don't ask.
Honestly, the time for Naruto is also like these ancient clans, but these ancient clans were led by the first Hokage. That can't be that long ago. Even if you use the 3rd Hokage for being old for so long, that's not like hundreds of years ago.
I mean,
That's at
Tsunade is
most.
the granddaughter of the 1st Hokage, so go your time frame for that.
Yeah.
I'm not making that up either.
Again,
She literally is the granddaughter of the 1st Hokage.
again, we'll just look at Bleach and 1,000 Year Blood War. That actually was 1,000 years ago.
At least that time frame can make sense with dead people.
Yes.
But it turns out that no, he's just really just done with life after seeing so much loss, and his PTSD is like, well, if I can make a
So he went Final Fantasy villain.
kind of, he just pretty much figured like if I can put he said himself that he rejects the current reality and that everything here doesn't matter. So I'm just going to make a perfect reality for each individual.
I reject reality and substitute with my own.
Pretty much. Yeah, we really need therapists in this world.
Yep.
But then his thinking gets turned around by talking to Kakashi and Naruto, and he decides to help them out, blah, blah, blah. And then he dies.
Jutsu.
Now, this is the organization that we were talking about a moment ago. These guys are the best and worst of the Shippuden arc, I find.
Yes. Every good battle shonen show needs the antagonist force. You know, Dragon Ball had, well, the Frieza Force, the androids. Boo.
Yeah, I was going to say pretty much just Boo, really.
You know, Bleach had the Espada and now the Landenreich.
I was going to say, how do you pronounce that one? But yeah, you got it.
Yeah, you know me. I like to re-listen to words until I can pronounce it close as the show says it. Don't get it right all the time. I will admit that. But the where's the Stern Ritter?
I thought the Stern Ritter was a weapon.
No, I think the Stern Ritter is the elite guard.
I think you're right. But anyway, moving on.
Anyway, the Akatsuki, which means Dawn, are the Naruto equivalent.
They're all being lied to.
Yep. There are a bunch of traitorous ninjas from various villages who banded together to gather the 9 demon beasts to create some sort of super weapon. They each join for different reasons. Some of them join because they're just homicidal maniacs.
Yeah, especially the one on the right and the one with the gray hair second to the left in the front.
And kind of the guy in the back as well is also just kind of a homicidal maniac.
Yeah. The one in the back with the blonde hair is just an idiot.
He's just an idiot. He's one of the members of this group, and he ended up living way longer than he did.
My 2 honest favorites is Itachi, because Itachi's just cool.
He's the one left of orange hair.
Mm-hmm. And Sasori, but that's not what he really... It looks like that's guy all the way on the left.
Yeah, bottom left. Those are my 2 favorite. I also like the blue guy in the back. I found him just straightforward, easy to understand.
Oh, Kisame?
Yeah, I think that's the name.
Yeah.
I forget his name.
Because he's the one with the shark sword.
Yeah. Now, side note, orange hair is actually the reason why I dropped the show. Because he's posing as the leader of the Akatsuki. He believes he's the leader. He believes he's the chosen one. And the story is so frustrating to me.
Yeah.
He's the one who destroys Hidden Leaf and then goes, oh, I guess we're friends, Naruto. Allow me to wiggle my nose, sacrifice my life, and all your friends are back.
Yeah, a slight problem here is that there was a prophecy told to Jirai about the chosen one that changed the ninja world.
Would be his student.
Yeah.
At first, he thought it was Minato.
Nagato.
Then he thought it was...
Minato was the 4th Hokage.
Yeah, he thought it was that one.
Oh. I must have missed that part, but whatever.
Then he thought it was orange hair. Or he thought it was one of those 2. Then he thinks it's Naruto, because he ends up training those 3. It ends up being Naruto.
It's always the
but
idiot.
also not Naruto because he didn't change the world. He just s- stopped a space alien.
Yeah, we'll go for that one in a moment
Yeah.
too.
Anyway, these guys are a fairly eclectic bunch. I think their theme song is one of the best OTS songs in the entire soundtrack. Which, while Naruto doesn't, his soundtrack doesn't slap as hard as Bleach does, it's still good in places.
And I do like sometimes that there's a group together for a common cause, but can't stand each other.
Yep.
But they're that powerful that individually it doesn't matter to them as a threat.
Okay. Open shirt and top right guy are both kind of immortals, and they fucking hate each other. One is
Hmm.
immortal because he's got powers from a dark god, which never brought up ever again, but he literally cannot die.
Yeah, and
Like,
if he licks your blood, you get he can control your body or some shit.
and the guy on the top right is immortal because he steals parts of people's bodies to make himself have. I have 4 hearts now. You
And
can't
each
kill me.
heart. And here's the thing: there are elemental chakras like nature, like lightning, fire. If he takes your heart, he's got that element now.
Yeah, he's also stitched together with magical wires. Basically, he made himself into Frankenstein's monster, and the two of them hate each other. One is all about money and power and bettering his own life. The other one's all about sacrifice to his dark god. They were put together on a team because they can't kill each other.
And
Anyone
they
else,
are a devastating duo. I will give them that.
when any other time they're partnered with somebody else, they will either A, steal their body parts to get power, or B, sacrifice them to their dark god. Which just makes me think that every morning, one of the first one to wake up tries to kill the other one.
To be
team.
fair, they're a better combination than the two artists of the group. I use that term
Yes.
loosely for one of them.
Yes. So when they work together, they take advantage of each other's immortality.
Mm-hmm.
It's terrifying and effective. Then we have Blondie and Bottom Left, who Bottom Left is obsessed with making things last forever. He makes puppets. He's one of my favorite villains. He's my favorite villain in the show. He believes art should be eternal. And the guy in the back is about explosions and fireworks. He thinks art is a one and done. Explosion, done. They come across as wise old man and kid who just ate all the sugar in a store.
I mean, to be fair, both of them are not in the wrong about that argument, in my opinion.
No, there's room for both art. I mean,
Yeah.
I enjoy a good fireworks show as much as the next fellow. I just watched the solar eclipse the other day. It was beautiful, but fleeting.
Mm.
And the fleeting of it made it beautiful. But I'm also the guy who wants to go to every art museum he comes across and masterpieces that have lasted for hundreds to thousands of years.
And I don't think this is a balance issue because I seriously think Sasori could kill Blondie.
Yes, but the thing is, Sasori is probably the most, level-headed member of the group, and he's also Coco for Cocoa Puffs. Like, technically, the sanest member of the team is Tachi, because he's there as a double agent.
Mm-hmm. And he's partnered with Blue Boy over there in the corner
Who
because they
kinda
think
knows
Blue Boy could kill Itachi.
I mean, out of everyone in this group, probably the closest.
Yeah, but I just don't think he. Well, I think the only reason he'll be able to be put off is Itachi has sickness.
Yeah, generic. I'm dying, and he's also probably. I think he is completely aware that Itachi's a double agent. But I like this guy. He's fun. He comes across as well. Okay, if I was to describe the blue guy as anything, he comes across as a D&D murder hobo.
You're not entirely wrong.
Yes,
The other
and
thing is,
the lone girl, the one below Mr. Immortal on the right, she's only interested in protecting pain, and her entire shtick is she can make paper crane stuff, even herself made out of paper. It's kind of a cool effect, but that is her entire character. Is her obsession with pain, the leader of the group.
I just like to know how she got away from the Abora maze when they were fighting.
Plot hole she fell into.
I would have loved to have seen that fight.
Yeah.
See, that's the other thing. When they get to a cool fight, sometimes they just turn away from it.
They also have some really cool, unique abilities. The dramaticness of them stealing the energy of beast is actually kind of cool, even though it's really fucking long. However, there's one major problem with the Akatsuki, which is something that a lot of shonen Naruto is the worst at.
Hmm?
All right, time to square off against Sasori. Oh wait, we better cut over to where Naruto and Explosion Guy. All right, they're still jumping after him. Let's cover the guys group. Let's go back to Sakura fighting Sasori. Let's cut back to Kakashi and Naruto jumping after Bird Guy.
Yeah, they cut away a lot. I always thought we were back to watching Kamen Rider, the first one.
Yeah, that at least followed one fight, even though the fight was shot like it was done by three different editors. It was still one fight.
Yeah, but
This
this one,
was this was three different fights, and technically one of these fights is just a chase.
Mhm. But here's the thing. Itachi knows something else is going on with this group. I think that's why he stuck around so long.
Yep.
And he also has the next level of the Sharingan.
Yeah, yeah,
Whatever.
that's what I mentioned before. He has super illusion eyes, black fire, and the ability to summon a giant ghost skeleton. But
And
using this causes it to kick in more often.
yeah, and he can't overuse it or he'll go blind because he's using his eyes. It's a weird thing with that.
Yep.
So, but like I said, the interesting about this group is like individually they're still a threat. The fact that they're all managed to work together for a single goal has a lot of nations that are aware of them really worried.
Yes, because well, we've mentioned before that these nine beasts are superpowers. Some of them are in villages. The holder has mastered these powers to use them to defend themselves and defend their village. And these guys can just show up and take down these super weapons.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the reasons why they travel in groups of two.
Yep. Not only is it to balance themselves, but increase their odds against said nuclear weapon.
Yep. And usually they design their teams around the set abilities of these weapons.
Now, it's not really known, but the special eyes that Pain has is actually the evolved form of the Sharingan. Sharingan. I keep saying that wrong.
Yep. Eyes are really important in this show.
Yeah, it's really kind of weird. I think someone had an eye fetish with this at some point.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, we actually have very little against them. I have like Pain is the reason why I dropped the show, but in concept, the organization is
Well, the organization itself, it's fine.
good.
It's
Good.
when
I like it. Honestly, as much as I preferred Bleach over this, I kind of think the Akatsuki is better than the Espada of Bleach. Like there's members I like of the Espada more, but in terms of an organization, I like them more.
I think only because the only reason the Espada were following Aiza is because Aiza was like, yeah, either follow me, but don't believe in me, but you're still gonna follow me. It's like, wait, what?
Basically, if you don't follow me, I'll murder you. Basically, it's basically the joke of you either die to him or, and you know I can kill you. You might win against these guys.
Yeah. But let's go into someone a little more cheerful.
Yes, this is a character both of us generally like until she makes one terrible life decision.
She's in love with Naruto.
And she ends up marrying Naruto. I honestly think that was a mistake. See, originally, it really comes across as Naruto was going to win Sakura over. But because the fan base really adored the shy, quiet Hinata who had a crush on Naruto because Naruto had this never give up spirit, and she was kind of like, I wish I was that brave.
I mean, I
Which
get
is
where she comes across
cute.
liking and
That's cute.
respecting Naruto.
Yeah, honestly, sometimes someone with the courage you wish you had is pretty cool.
I mean, honestly,
And
I'm a Hinata and Shino shipper, but that's just me.
he won me over that, and I hate bugs. Anyway, she's also from a sacred clan. She's going to be the next, not powerful enough, so it causes her depression and her father to be a giant douche nozzle at times.
Yeah, you cut out a little bit there, but she was basically going to be the next in line to lead her clan.
The
But
hero of the
her
clan
sister,
is more powerful and more skilled, even though she's
like
5 at the start of the show.
something like that,
Mm.
and her father is a dick.
Yeah.
But it kind of turns out he's a dick because he had to sacrifice his younger brother in order to protect the eyes of the clan. Blah blah.
He's
Like,
forcing a little bit of his own guilt on his daughter.
yeah.
And when daughter number 2 comes along and she's just better, he can just focus on that as an excuse. I'm not forgiving him. I'm just saying I understand his rationality.
Mm-hmm.
And Hanada is generally warm sunshine.
Yeah,
I think she is the best of the students.
and
From
she
the,
does develop well. She does
Yep.
get a little bit. She doesn't get as outspoken as Naruto, but she does develop a sense of courage for herself.
Yep. Although, unfortunately, her entire dream is just to support Naruto, which is not really that great of a dream. It's not your own dream.
I mean, she does
There's nothing
support
wrong.
her teammates, everything like that, but
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah. There's nothing wrong with supporting someone you love, but don't make that your entire character.
it just seems like anytime she's on screen, she has to mention Naruto.
Yeah, it's basically the same problem I've got with Uraraka from My Hero. She's slowly becoming Deku's cheerleader, and that's her only character trait.
Yeah, which is why I'm glad that kind of gets better, semi better near the end of the series, but I'll let you find out
Hmm.
about that.
All right, I will. Anyway, her clan's special eyes, which when combined with the Sharingan equal the power Pain had in a sense in a weird. Anyway, it lets her basically see through walls, pressure points. It's basically Superman's X-ray vision on crack because it also lets you see behind her own head.
Yeah, there's only like one small spot at the base of the neck they can't see.
But you could always just move your head and
Yeah, that's kind of why I was wondering why when Neji was having that one fight with that spider-like dude, it's like, dude, just twist your head and look around. Literally, you'll be moving the blind spot.
just move your body. Move your body. I mean, also you can see up and down. They describe it as 360-degree vision, but I really think it's like full everywhere. But that pin.
It pretty much is.
Yeah, and her family's special abilities is they've learned how to make their chakra into like little knives so they can poke pressure points with it. So, oh hey, your legs have stopped working. Oh hey, your chakra stopped flowing. Oh hey, you're just dead.
I mean, the only reason that Naruto won against Neji in that the fight later on was because he had the Nine Tails chakra to call on.
He just kept pouring out more. Basically, he's like, aha, I've stopped this gap. Why did the gap just flood over?
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, I do like one thing about Hinata is later on she learns how to make her chakra look like a lion. I like the whole idea of she shy the courage of a lion.
Yeah, I
That's
like that.
stupid and I love it. That's stupid, I love it.
I just thought it was interesting that she developed something on her own that had almost nothing to do with anything else.
Yeah. Now her pain does kill her, and that was the final death for me. Like, okay, I'm done. I've got basically at that point in the story, every character I was rooting for was dead.
Yeah, I only had
I
one
had
left at that point.
I had nobody left. Like, so I basically threw up my hands, and then I decided I'll read the next issue because this guy was telling me to.
Yeah.
And Pain wiggled his nose, and everyone came back to life. And I'm just like, I was emotionally caught up in this. You ruined it. Like you had like, no, no.
And I can't
And
blame you for that one.
everything else after that, after her death and revival, I only know because Soul kept reading it and he kept banging his head against a brick wall, basically reading it, and being miserable and needed to vent to someone about it. And unfortunately, I was there. I've seen a few clips, seen a few issues here and there. But I do remember one guy elbowing Sasuke. The elbow, which may have just been a translation joke, which I hope the fuck no. I hope whenever that guy does a wrestling elbow to someone's face, you hear the sound of elbow.
But let's move on a little bit because she's generally finding stuff for her crush and, well, need for Naruto.
Yeah, it's not good for you, sweetheart. You can
It,
not only could you do better, it's just not emotionally good for yourself to be that
I don't
dependent
know
on
what's
them.
worse. I honestly think Sakura with her Sakura
Oh
obsession
yeah,
is worse.
that's worse. That is way worse. Like this is slightly more healthy, but not that much.
Yeah, this is Neji. He starts off as a dick
Yeah, he's Hanada's
cousin.
cousin. They're also kind of, in a sense, genetic siblings because twins were their parents, their fathers are twins.
Yeah,
He is a prodigy of the Hyuga clan, but because there can only be one in charge, he is a branch member, which,
mm-hmm.
if you don't understand how branch families work, don't really have time to explain that jargon, but essentially he is servant to the main family.
He's basically a second citizen of his own family.
Yep. But because he is so powerful, his entire shtick is being mad at Hanada for being so weak for at the start.
Mm. He's also
And
got a cursed seal on his forehead, so in case he ever gets, so that the main family can cause pain if he either tries to betray them, or if he
or just
dies and gets taken, it'll destroy his eyes.
yeah, which on paper makes sense to protect superpowers because in this world they can like rip out your eye and put it in someone else,
Or study
and
it in general.
it just works. Which we have that level of transplantability because I think they also can transplant arms in this world.
Look, there's a
Anyway,
lot of things that chakra allows you to do, so we have to kind of work with it.
he is the epitome at the start of the show of blood is everything, destiny is everything, and there are two characters who are vehemently out loud saying, "No, anyone can make it if you just work hard enough."
Mm-hmm.
And one of those people ends up becoming the chosen one, proving that blood and destiny is everything.
Yeah, I kind of have a mixed bag on that one.
Yeah, I hate that. I hate that so much. But yeah, his main opponents end up being his own teammate, who is, in a sense, a disabled guy. In this world, everyone can manipulate chakra to shoot fireballs, shoot illusions. He doesn't have that ability. He can only punch.
Yeah, we'll discuss him in a
And
moment.
Neji does every opportunity to knock him down a peg because you can't do anything a ninja can. You're not a real ninja. They're
And
holding us
plus,
back.
he's not from any sort of respected family.
Nope, you're a nobody with no powers. What the fuck are you doing on my team? On my team.
Then he gets his ass handed to him by Naruto.
Yeah, because Naruto wants to avenge Hinata and him have a fight, and basically he takes that entire fight just beating the shit out of Hinata just to prove his point, even though he already won.
But because Hinata stood up to him, yeah.
Yeah, that pissed him off more. But when Naruto saw that, he's basically lines up, "That's not cool, man. That whoever she was just trying to. He doesn't even know Hinata that well. They're in the same class, but he barely knows who she is."
Not that really knows any of his classmates at that point. They only got changed up a little bit later on, but
Even though in flashbacks she was kind of as children. More retcons.
and this is Neji when he pulled the stick out of his ass.
Yep. He becomes a pretty decent team member. He ended up becoming a character I really end up liking. Yeah, he also died, but he doesn't get revived.
Yeah, but he died
Yeah.
later on, so it's kind of a different point in time. So we can't blame Nagato for that.
No.
But the thing is, like, he learned that hard work, and he also learned his father willingly gave himself up to protect his brother. It wasn't because of some clan destiny or second branch, main branch. No, he did it to save his brother. Not the clan leader, his brother. So it was about family, but not in the sense that Neji believed it.
Mm-hmm. And unfortunately doomed Neji to be a branch member, but
The thing about it was,
it was-
like, once he managed to Hayashi and Neji, I think it was Hayashi. No, that's
I can't remember their exact names.
but his uncle, basically his uncle and him, kind of started forming a better bond, and he got to know Hinata better. He kind of got accepted into the family better. I think the Hyuga clan got better for it.
Yeah.
But
And all it took was a big dramatic fight and learning that, blood and destiny aren't everything.
But you know what the odd thing is? After the we time skipped to Boruto, we barely hear anything about the Hyuga clan.
Of course, that would be interesting.
Because Hanabi's teaching kids, has a crush on Naruto's student kid that was the third Hokage's grandson.
Oh Lord.
And whenever she's drunk, she tries to pretty much date him.
Oh Lord.
Hinata's busy at home being a mother, and apparently Hinata's father is basically doting on the grandkids. But that's all we know anymore. What's going on with this village?
Okay. Anyway, going on to the next character, please.
Sorry,
But no, you're not wrong. I'm just tired. So tired of this.
this is
So
Rock
tired of
Lee.
This ended up being Lee is probably the most popular character from the show.
I like him and I don't like him at the same time.
Because Lee is that character I just talked about. He is the basically handicapped ninja. He is born with no chakra manipulation, but he is the most determined character in the series. He is determined to be the greatest ninja he can be, using only martial arts. And he is terrifyingly skilled with martial arts.
Uh-huh.
If you've ever seen any clip from Naruto, it's basically Rock Lee taking the Dragon Ball Z style weights off his legs and then going full Z fighter speed, jumping around like he's goddamn Sonic the Green Hedgehog.
And that's before activating the 8 gates.
Yes, the dude has learned a technique that lets his limited chakra control open up. Uh, Basically, I believe these are Hindu chakra gates.
I think
Based
it's
off
something relative to that point, yes.
the same chakra gates the Aang from Avatar was learning to open up.
Mhm. But basically, at certain parts of the body, there's kind of basically a gate that prevent you from overloading your body with chakra.
He can force
As
them open,
yeah,
which increases his physical capabilities by each gate opened up. If he opens up all 9,
8.
8, sorry,
No, that's
8,
fine.
sorry.
If you
If he
open
opens,
the 8 gates, you pretty much become a god for about a couple of minutes, and then you die.
yeah, you burned through everything.
That's why it's called the 8th gate of eighth gate of death.
Yep. His mentor, my guy, is
Who I swear to God has to have some relation to this kid.
they're either like genetic clones or like the most what the fuck, how do you two look like father and son without being related? Like even when they weren't like knew each other, they looked like they go like they must have gone to the same barber and gotten the
I
same
think it's a
haircut.
missed opportunity why nobody in the village brought this up.
I don't know. Okay, anyway, Rock Lee ended up getting a spin-off show, which I hated at first because it took Bleach's time slot.
I never
Yeah,
even saw it.
Bleach got canceled for this. It's basically a show of Lee, Ten, Neji, and Might Guy being basically it's Ruby Chibi with them.
Oh, is this the one where they're all chibi?
I just tell you it was a chibi show.
I forgot it was one where they're all chibi. I know there was like I forgot they were all chibi in that.
Yeah. But Lee also has a massive crush on Sakura. He sees her as you're a very hardworking student. I relate to that. Sakura can't stand the fuck out of him.
The best thing,
Poor
like
guy.
I liked when Rock Lee was first introduced, he kicked the crap out of Sasuke.
Yeah, Sasuke's like, I have all these amazing ninja superpowers. You're just why am I on the floor? Then Sasuke used his magic copying eyes to copy his body movements, and Lee was a little bit upset by that, but also impressed by that.
Yeah, but that won't help you when Rock Lee can move like 8 times faster than you could ever move.
Yeah, unfortunately, Sasuke's eyes can keep up with him no matter what speed he goes.
But he has to see him first.
Yeah, he'll always see it, but he will not. His body will not be able to react in time to that bitch coming into his face. Also, there's a one joke with Lee I fucking love.
What's that?
He is a master and doesn't know it of the drunken fist style.
Oh yeah, him against that
Anytime-
bone guy.
Yeah, he accidentally once took sake instead of medicine because they were both in the same kind of cup, same little bottle, and he went from losing a fight to being so fucking unpredictable with drunken boxing to winning. And apparently, he does this several times in filler arcs by eating too spicy of food.
And he worries his teacher because Guy and Neji had to try and hold him back.
And barely could.
See, that's the kind of thing I like, where it's not like, oh, he gets mad, he gets uncontrollable. No, he just gets drunk and gets uncontrollable. That makes more sense to me.
That does make more sense to me, mostly because the Drunken Master Jackie Chan movies are some of my favorites. They make me,
Yeah.
they're one of my dad's favorites too. So I greatly enjoy watching that.
And Lee and Guy are both just generally nice people, really. Like,
Their only major problem with these two characters is, do they ever come at like volume setting lower than 11 and in your face setting less than millimeters away from you?
and maybe
They're
tone down the springtime of youth.
yeah.
Like,
But-
there's only so much of that I can take. That's kind of one of the reasons why I like them and I
Well,
don't
one-
like them at the same time.
Once my anger of Bleach being canceled got over, I started liking Lee again. Like I wouldn't say he's my favorite character, but I don't hate him.
Like I said, Guy, who essentially is pretty much like a carbon copy of Lee. Like, I respect, especially after seeing what he tried to do for Kakashi, why he became Kakashi's eternal rival. I have more respect for the guy. And Lee I have more respect for. But there's only so much of them I can take. Because unlike Kakashi, I can just go somewhere else and not have to deal with them.
Hey, look, there's a skip button on this screen.
Oh, look at that.
Anyway, these are the three students of the third Hokage. Up front, Tsunade, the Sakura's teacher of healing and being the shit of you. Jiraiya, the master of frog sages and also a pervert, but the comedy kind of pervert, so still a pervert. And Orochimaru,
The actual pervert.
the actual wanted criminal for for dozens of reasons, ranging from kidnapping children for experimentations to, well, necromancy.
And just, if you ever actually saw him, you'd know to just stay back. Like,
Oh yeah, also identity theft, as in he will literally steal your body.
or your skin, or anything else he needs.
I mean, he doesn't care what kind of body it is as long as it's powerful. So he's been a woman a few times apparently. So he has one progressive mark on him.
He also puts his DNA into your body so that he can technically clone himself from that too. So,
Yeah.
look, that got really weird.
He's the closest thing to an unrepentant, disgusting, worst day he ends up teaching students next series.
Yeah, here's the thing. I can almost understand. I understand Naruto wanting to bring back Sasuke, who he feels like a brother, and bring him back to the village. Okay, fine. Why on God's green earth would you allow Orochimaru to continue living? And
Yeah.
not only that, give him and Orochimaru's assistant a classroom full of clones with the Sharingan.
I think he originally was after. He was after Sasuke to take his body, and then Sasuke killed him by taking it. Because of cloning and necromancy, Orochimaru is basically immoral and suffers no consequences.
Well, why would that be? Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
You pretty much just let him continue his research any way he wants to. I mean, true, he's technically in prison under watch by Kakashi's subordinate that uses the wood jutsus, but yeah, like that really means much.
Considering he's a genius level who can just create jutsus whenever the frick he wants, he could easily create his own solutions out of there. Probably already has, and then has left a snake mold in his place.
Would not surprise
That
me
being
sometimes.
that being said, though, Orochimaru uses snakes, Jiraiya uses frogs, Tsunade uses toad. That's toad, slugs. I kind of prefer snakes over the other two.
Yeah, people say that Orochimaru's got the worst summons. I disagree because snakes can be
What?
poisonous and stuff like that. Yeah, that's what a lot of people believe because the slugs can multiply and be used to help heal people with their Tsunade's help. Jiraiya's frogs have hands that can use weapons and come in multiple sizes and can spit oil and probably some other things.
Also predict the future.
Some people think that because no one's been able to master the snake sage jutsu, it's one of the worst there is. But yeah, snake's got other variety of abilities. Like, have you seen what Anko, one of Orochimaru's students, does with snakes when she summons them to be like a whip or like to tangle people up? I'm like, you people really underestimate the snake summon.
Just gonna say, if you look at Legends of Snakes alone,
Well, I'm just saying, like a snake, you can summon a snake, have it crawl into a tent, and poison someone with a bite, and then poof, snake gone.
Just saying, snakes are known for immortality in some mythoses because of the shedding of skin.
Yeah,
which clearly he has also become immortals.
I mean, the three of them are known as the Great Three Senin. That was the title given to them for almost like the three of them holding back an almost unstoppable enemy.
Yes. You're a 3-to-1 army. If you get that reference, good for you.
But Jiraiya was, as I've said, got a prophecy from the Frog Sages about a student that he will train to change the ninja world. Which, depending on how you see it and stuff like that, does and does not happen. I say no, but I'll let it go.
Yep. Essentially, they are also based off legends of older ninjas that the creator of Naruto based his series off, which it's nice. But at the same time, they're also supposed to be reflections of past, like Sakura, Naruto, and Sasuke. These are their true mentors. They're gonna pass along their techniques to them, to the next generation, stuff like that. But again, because Sakura kind of gets left behind, poor Tsunade's techniques end up becoming left behind and forgotten, which ends up making hers the worst.
I do like, though, when Jiraiya talks to Sasuke, or not Sasuke, Naruto, brings in how what Naruto's going through reminds him of everything he and Orochimaru does, and all the regrets that Jiraiya has about Orochimaru leaving the village, and if he'd have been a better friend, blah blah blah. Like, no, this guy was nuts from the start. This was not gonna end well.
No, 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 no. I mean, good on you for trying to be a good friend, but no.
Tsunade does indeed end up becoming the fifth Hokage.
Yep.
Still has a gambling problem and an alcohol problem.
Yep.
I find it funny that the only reason she has a gambling problem is because of the first Hokage letting her win when they gamble together.
Huh. I know why she's a drinking problem, because everyone she loved also died.
Yeah. She had a boyfriend whose name I honestly forget. He died in the war. Then her
little brother died in a war.
I think it might have been the same war too, which is really terrible.
Probably. She's good friends with Orochimaru. He is a betraying everyone. The third Hokage was their
fourth Hokage.
fourth.
No, third, no, you're right there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the Jiraiya ended up teaching the fourth Hokage.
Yes, you're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. So
and she winds up getting some semblance of peace and understanding her feelings for Jiraiya, and Jiraiya's dead now.
Yep. What I do like about her is she's mastered her healing technique, so she doesn't look like she's made her body stop aging. And Jiraiya actually will tease her about it.
Here's the funny thing. Jiraiya and Orochimaru look good for apparently how old they're supposed to be then.
Yeah, they're like in their 60s apparently. Like the third Hokage, I think is like his 80 or something.
Yeah, like she shrivels up like oh hell.
Which I think actually is just the alcohol finally hitting her body.
Possibly.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, good lord.
Yeah, she does not. Like, to be fair, if I aged like that, I'd totally against trying to do some reverse aging. Orochimaru, we know why he's aging so well. He's experimented on himself and swapped bodies so many goddamn times. Jiraiya, though, apparently spending so much time around toads and frogs is good for your health.
Totally, it's good for the skin.
Correct. Toad mucus. If you get that reference, good for you.
All right, well, let's go on to the actual main villain of the show. Well, second to main villain.
I'm confused.
This is Madara Uchiha.
The kind of founder of the Uchiha clan? Kinda?
Not really,
Kinda?
but kind of is. It.
My head hurts.
Okay. I won't bore you with all the details because this gets really bad, especially with the next character, but Madara was an Uchiha that tried to bring about peace with his friend, the first Hokage, but wasn't Hokage the first time because the village hadn't been made yet.
Mm-hmm.
Things got twisted, revenge got plotted, and Madara takes the eyes of his brother so that he can become all powerful. More bloodshed, and he plots to come back from the dead using his illusion technique that it can even fool reality.
That's okay. Whatever.
Yeah, remember how Itachi can make you have an illusion that your body thinks is real? Like when he stabbed Kakashi for like 3 days straight? Yeah, he can do that, but better. He can fool reality.
I guess that's one to bend reality, but if you can do that, then you should automatically.
Look, the only other thing is like the other Shusui, which was Itachi's friend, had an illusion so real nobody could tell. So take that as you will.
And people say Sosuke's absolute dominance over illusions with his Zanpakuto is overpowered.
But he's basically tries to be the main villain for his plan to take over the world. I think it really just kind of became a mess after he really kind of came on the scene.
Mm-hmm.
Like people say Aizen has a problem with overcomplicated plans. This guy takes it a step farther.
Because Aizen's plans are kind of easy to follow too.
Because he had a plan to come back from the dead. He had a plan to recover his lost eyes. He had a plan from when he lost his eyes to regain his eyes. That all claimed to be still part of the same plan.
Okay.
I don't even know where to start with that.
And he's not even the actual final boss.
Oh no, that would be her.
This is some sort of rabbit from the moon alien goddess who
that brought
created all of
chakra
the
to
art,
the world.
who created all the arts of ninjutsu by default, and she's got all the eyes at once. They've even fused, even though they are already fused to make them, and
Oh,
she's
and that's not
uh,
even the worst of it.
and
Apparently,
she's got control of the 10th beast, which is all nine fused together, but they're not actually done together. And she's also some sort of Yggdrasil life tree, and damn it.
and her alien species is going to sacrifice her to the tree so they can sprout and then eat the tree so they gain more power and then go to the next planet. You know, you have a really complicated tree of might. All Turtles has to do is plant a seed, and he gets his.
Yeah, not wrong about that.
Like, this is the part where it's just like between her and Madara, because Madara was kicking the shit out of everybody from all the villages together on his own, really.
Yeah, because he can bend reality.
This bitch, Jesus Christ. Like, these two alone got the story so going sideways that
Wasn't this show originally about ninjas trying to?
I thought it was, but I could have been wrong about that.
That's
Because she brings up that Naruto has even more to his backstory, being the chosen one, along with Sasuke being direct descendants to her grandkid, her husband, I think, and descendants from her children down the line, so that they're even more special than we already thought. You know,
here's
honestly,
the thing. Here's the thing. Weren't the Uchihas a branch off from the Hyuga clan?
that's what they believed. Or the
Chihuahua.
Hyuga branches off the Uchihas. I forget which way that one, but
I Chihuahua.
like, and then she just kind of comes like out of nowhere from this. Like, there's no mention of her.
Yeah, she's literally the giant space flea from nowhere, if you know that trope.
So there was no mention of her until like moments before she appears, if I remember right.
That's not how you do foreshadowing.
No, you want foreshadow? Go watch Bleach,
Yes.
because that doesn't intentionally and unintentionally, in my opinion.
Yes.
But good lord, and then they make it even more complicated when they go over Boruto about her entire alien species, because it's like, I'm not going to get into that, you know? No, it's not worth getting into.
So essentially, the biggest problem with Naruto is it lost the plot and just kept losing the plot.
In my opinion, the best part of Naruto is before Shippuden and maybe about halfway through Shippuden.
Yeah, I can see that.
Now, there are issues along the way. Like I said, this show is pretty much like has pitfalls and rises that make it both good and bad at the same time.
Like when it's good, like the action in this show is generally fan. Every fight with Rock Lee, beautifully animated.
A lot of fights I find, especially when they try and be creative by trying to outthink the opponent.
Yeah, fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Some of the hand-to-hand fights are really good. They're not like.
I feel like it also dropped the ball during its tournament arc, which is a shame because tournament arcs are usually just stupid fun.
Mm-hmm.
But as much as I don't care for Naruto and Sasuke, their first fight at the end of Naruto, I mean, before it becomes filler arcs, was pretty good too.
Mm-hmm. I
Kakashi's
also
fight against
like that.
Soul's Correct is still really good. It's one of the first major.
You broke up on that. What was that?
The first fight with one of the first fights we had, Kakashi versus Zabuza.
Ah, yes.
You brought that up, and I'm like, oh, I can't argue that.
Then there's
that Kakashi mini arc Soul will never shut up.
Look, it's only 6 episodes long. I think that could have been so much better. Like, there's moments of Kakashi trying to talk to Jiraiya, and at first Jiraiya doesn't want to talk to him, but then he realizes that, okay, this is a kid with PTSD, and I'm trying to shrug him off. Shame on me.
Yeah, Jiraiya may be a pervert, but he's a good guy at heart.
And he tells that, yeah, you should actually talk to someone, even if it's just for a moment. It's not. It seems a small thing, but
maybe talk to someone who can talk back, though.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I showed you that short clip of that.
Yes, you have. But overall, there is still enjoyment to Naruto. And while our original thesis, basically, we would have liked Naruto without Naruto, we still lean that way, but maybe not as harshly. You could still rework the blonde idiot to make him a bit more likable.
Hmm.
One thing we both agree on is remove the giant space thief from nowhere.
Yeah, it just got really more confusing from there.
You know, she would have been decent for a movie villain where it's non-canon, so you don't have to worry about this and fitting it into the world lore.
Some of the good stuff is from the movies too, so that's really a shame.
I know, but yeah, I remember the first movie was actually pretty entertaining with the ice stuff, but I just like Ice's power.
You know,
Anyway,
I think we should go play a game.
mm,
You know, we get sucked into the world.
I believe it is time we head there to the great tomb of Nazarick. All right, you all take care. I'm gonna go dig my way down to a crypt.
Good night, everybody.
Where's my shovel?
Oh, here it is with this dead guy.
Ah!